Okay, so he is having PC issues in general, it seems, as far as I can tell. Like, I just tried to do a one-on-one call, and he wasn't getting anything. And I had him call me, and he said he couldn't call me. So that means his Skype is totally fucked up. So
there's a way that we can send links to invite.
Yeah, I mean, well, that just means that like he can't be involved in a call, period. That's the issue. So he needs to reboot his Skype, and if that doesn't do it, he needs to reboot his computer. Like he just can't join calls, period. So, or can't even start calls. Just nothing with calls he can do. So I was going to have him start a call. Yeah. I messaged him over text. So.
All right, cool. That gives me time to fucking cut up this pizza for Wyatt.
Hell yeah.
I was baking a fucking pizza.
Oh, man. I had a pizza earlier today, and it was one of those... I'm trying to like be a little more health conscious because I'm becoming old, and I still just annihilated the whole damn thing. So...
Oh, dude.
I'll start one of these days. Yeah, it's like that's my ultimate weakness.
Yeah, I had McDonald's today, and then because I was painting this huge ass fucking deck for my buddy's aunt. And
hell yeah.
We're working on that for the next couple weeks, but what is it? I had McDonald's for lunch, and then like not even 2 hours later, she goes to the store to get us some rollers. Comes back, has like 4 bags of Wendy's. I was like, I would have much rather had Wendy's in the first place. Because Wyatt knows I fucking would just rather have Wendy's than McDonald's any day. He's just like, nope, McDonald's. I have to have it. It's like this this fucking burgers are awful.
Delicious. I'm sure they're absolutely terrible, but also delicious. Dude, I'll eat anything. As long as there's not beans in it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
You don't like
I agree with that.
I can't do beans.
Goons are terrible.
I love them.
Ugh.
Love them in like everything.
It's like eating bugs.
What?
Big bugs.
Oh, shit.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, shit.
What's up?
I didn't realize my computer or whatever thing would be on.
Glad I don't have a camera.
Yeah, you can turn it off if you want. I don't have a camera on this thing, so just deal.
I'm just going to say it over the mic because I don't care, because I did this last 2 times I cooked pizza. Hey, Wyatt, we're going to have to wait for the pizza to cool down because I kind of baked it with the cardboard on the bottom still.
Jesus goddamn Christ.
I just... that's fucking...
I've made that mistake before.
Well, last time I did it, I was able to just peel it the fuck right off, but this thing cooked. It's like it is now one with the crust. So
that is
cool off to actually do anything.
What kind did you cook?
Tony's.
Okay.
Yeah, Tony's is the best. That or two.
Imagine it as a stale graham cracker.
I grew up on Tombstones.
Fuck yeah.
Tombstones are awesome.
Yeah.
I like the Tostitos ones. Is that what they're called? Like the small square ones. Like
I never was a huge fan of those because I think they had like the diced pepperoni.
Yes.
And that bugged. When I was a little kid, they would have like little actual circle pepperonis, and they would like crust up on the side, so they would turn into little like pepperoni cups filled with oil. And like 5-year-old me thought that ruled, and then they changed what they did and had diced pepperonis, and I was like, this is complete bullshit. I don't want it.
They make round ones again. They're not as good tasting as the other pepperoni though.
That's how Vicelli's is. Like if you get Vicelli's, that's a pizza place around here.
Yeah.
And like they have small little circular pepperonis that just curl up.
Yeah.
Little cups of grease right there. So I just like imagined you 5-year-old Rich just sitting there pinky up.
I would literally pick them off the pizza and then eat the rest after I pulled off the pepperonis.
Just drink the grease like a little sake cup.
Yeah. My son now peels off the pepperonis, his pizzas, eats the cheese off the crust, and then leaves the crust. And then we'll eat a couple of pepperonis afterwards. I'm like, okay, what the shit, dude?
Does this. My daughter does that. But the cool thing with those little square Tostitos things, cook them in the microwave, roll them up like a pizza burrito.
Oh, there you go.
That shit, it's gangster. Dip it in some ranch. Ooh.
My God, that's a recipe for heart attack.
What a delicious one.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna go down, make it worth it, I guess.
Right.
All right, sons.
Enough pizza talk.
Yeah, let's get down to business.
Let's get to the real bread and butter of the conversation.
That's right.
All right, welcome to the Tattered Couch Podcast. We got me and Mike, your host, and then returning guest host, also host of Damn Chocobo, one half of it anyway, Rich.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
And we got Dave.
Hello.
Hi, Dave.
An awesome D&D whatever tabletop game runner person.
Yeah.
It's best
I'm kind of a Renaissance man. I do many things. Many fingers and many pies.
That's a lot of things to read into that.
Graphic.
And I'm still sad that Jake can't join us every time we fucking do this show.
Jake would never join a Souls discussion other than to swear at me and then leave. Never in a million years.
Yeah, every time you bring it up, because I just listened to a couple episodes back while I was at work yesterday from you guys, and it was, here, Elden Ring's going to come out, and here we go.
I mean, some people just don't have good taste in games. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think Jake just doesn't like games in general. I think that's the real issue. I think we do a gaming podcast, but I think the secret is that he just doesn't like games.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what does he play outside of the Final Fantasy games?
Nothing. Minecraft now. He used to play racing games. Kingdom Hearts. Not much. He's not really a gamer these days. He kind of stopped being part of his regular thing 10 years ago, really. It's
weird that I just listened to I think it's the newer episode as well, because I'm at work for 10 hours, so I just listen to people on stream, and it's weird because I just dug out my garden beds and shit.
Yeah.
And as I turn on the thing, I'm going to talk about plants for 30 minutes. I was like, I'm kind of into this. Okay. Perfect timing.
That's what happens when you get a couple of near 40-year-old dudes just I don't know, man, we're not kids anymore. You want to talk about yard work? I just ripped up a fucking deck yesterday, but that starts getting into super old man territory there.
Well,
yard work, man.
Weren't you guys on whenever Mitch asked me, what did you do today? And I'm like, I cut the grass.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I do not cut grass. I refuse.
I cut your grass.
Yeah. Either Casey does it. She can't handle doing it once every 2 weeks. I say we do it every 2 weeks. It doesn't get really that bad. And also, fuck everybody's feelings around me and their cut grass.
Well, hey, if you really want to be a shithead about it, what you should do is join this new natural wild grass movement that started, where people are trying to bring back like the natural prairie grass to the areas that they've been to, because all that cut grass that people normally have to keep up with, that's all foreign grass that has been brought here and actually kind of mucks up a lot of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, there are people that are like, just like, yeah, I'm bringing back prairies.
My father-in-law, his yard is all natural. But it actually looks good.
About fucking grass.
Here we fucking go. God damn it.
No, go on though. This is fun.
The woods doesn't have much grass in it.
His is basically heavily wooded, so it's like a woods basically. He's got like a couple acres. It's a pretty sizable property, and it's all, even though it's in like a suburb, he's got a huge chunk of land, and just it's natural and looks pretty decent. So I could never get away with that because I got a fucking homeowners association, and they would just like start fucking fining me. So homeowners associations are fucking criminal.
Yes.
You do realize none of their things are legally binding. They can't do anything to you. Actually.
I mean,
Rich is now going to go complain.
I really feel like what you said makes a lot of sense to me. However,
they're basically they are a neighborhood mafia. That's what they are.
Yeah, I mean it just seems like a grift. So
it's straight up a grift.
Yeah. I hate that bullshit.
While you guys are doing that with the prairie grass, if I had it my way, and one day I will have it my way, I will turf all of my lawn. I will, and I'll put golf fucking holes there.
That's what I was thinking. As soon as you said turf, I was like, oh, you're going to do golfing stuff with that, aren't you?
Hell yeah, that would look cool.
Yeah, I thought about making like a little mini golf course in my front yard, and then I looked up how much everything would cost to do that, and I was like,
maybe not. Maybe not.
If my credit score hits like 800, I can get a nice credit card like that big, but that's about it.
What you really got to do is calculate the amount of gas and lawnmowers you buy.
Mm-hmm.
You justify right there, man.
I have an electric lawnmower, so
those are badass.
It's pretty sweet. See, but the problem with that, which makes it not badass,
electric
it's got battery packs that you plug.
I had a plug-in one.
Yeah.
I had an extension cord like a fucking vacuum cleaner.
I've seen those too. Thankfully, I don't have that bullshit because it drives me crazy.
That I had to do when I was living at Ben's house. That's how I had to mow the lawn because he was cheap. And that sucked. It was awful. I hated doing it. It was the worst. I wanted to kill myself every time.
We have two battery packs, and one is enough to get the yard done, and then I have a spare one for weed eating and shit.
Well, I'll be honest, what made it worse is that, like, I would sit there and, like, fantasize about, I could lay down in front of this thing and it would mow me over and I would be done with this. But then I realized as soon as you take your hand off of the little push bar thing, it stops running. Because that's how this electric one works. I'm like, I couldn't even kill myself with this if I wanted to.
The weed whacker I have takes battery packs, and Mike will tell you how fucking shitty that thing is. Yeah, it lasts about 10 minutes.
Mine rules, but it's the downside is that when I convinced my wife, like, we were paying someone to mow our lawn, and then we were both like, man, this just feels like a waste. We could just buy one and save money. And then we bought one with a battery pack, and then it was like, we saved money, but now I lose a sizable chunk every other fucking weekend because I got to do all the goddamn yard work. So
my whole thing is like, the only reason I pay
that doesn't sound very cash money of you to have to do it all yourself.
The way I look at it,
it's not.
The way I look at it, I pay Mike to do this, and I'm buying myself more time to just not be doing this shit.
I'm buying more time by exercising.
Yeah. See, we have positive outlooks on this.
Hey, that's a good way to do it. If I liked just hanging out in my yard in the fucking 8,000 degrees summer heat of Texas, I would be down with that, but I'm not.
Well, it's like
could be worse. Could be Oklahoma.
My Italian blood is like, yes, 90 degrees and baking sun.
Do not want.
Well, it's like I was doing that deck today, and even in the shade, it was just like frying us. And when we were doing that, I was like, man, I shouldn't have said I would do this for $500. And then she came home and gave us the rollers, and I was like, I remember you saying something about you're paying us more, and I'm not trying to sound like an asshole or like, I just need to know because, yeah, we did kind of both miss 2 weeks of work due to COVID kind of recently, and we haven't really fully recovered from that. And she was like,
"Oh, you missed you got hit with the good old fashioned COVID, huh?"
Yeah. So she just goes, 1,300. I said, "Yup." Now yes. I don't feel like fucking being here. Like now I feel like being here and not killing myself. And thank you for the rollers. These help a lot. Because I was hand painting all those spindles. Like, there's just hundreds of spindles.
I did that for a summer. I was doing interior painting. I enjoyed that. It was fun.
Well, if it was interior, it would have been great. But this is outside in the blistering heat. Yeah, that's why I hated it.
Yeah, I was working with a friend and helping her out with her small business, and she did indoor painting for people's houses. I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah, Casey still
a good
does
skill
that,
to have.
Yeah, Casey does historic preservation, and I used to do it with her back at her old place before it shut down, and I really enjoyed it. But a lot of people that I worked with are cunts because they're just all miserable. So.
Wow. Terrible. Speaking of misery, I feel like long, lengthy discussions about yard work and doing like labor outside in the sun is probably like absolutely dark and torturous and just addictive. Miserable for a lot of the listeners. And I feel like that's appropriate for the subject at hand today.
There you go.
See, because what we are here to discuss is something that is all about worlds of pain and misery and darkness.
And a lot of fun.
Yeah, the new mobile Diablo, right?
Oh, God. And trying to maintain your sense of self and determination through the horrible misery.
Of those microtransactions in the new Diablo.
Yes, exactly.
Is that the Diablo Immortal?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I've been thinking about.
God.
Somebody, actually, the data miners did the math on it to fully upgrade a character with their current model. It's going to cost you $110,000.
What?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Like Battlefront all over again.
Oh, it's worse. It is way worse than Battlefront.
I like the old Battlefronts, the new ones. I was like so hyped for, and I was like, oh, what is that?
Never play that kind of game. Just don't do it.
I actually really liked Battlefront 2, but I only really liked it for the campaign. I don't play a lot of multiplayer, so I'm just like, it's fine.
Campaign like disappointing because it's like you're kind of a dark sider, but then you switch to the light side, and it's like, why? I want to be one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I like that personally because that's because I don't like being a fascist, but it's just me.
There's something about the Emperor that just gets me.
Well, that's just because Ian McDermott is a very, very suave actor.
Yeah,
a legend.
He really is. Like when I saw him at Celebration this year, he was looking a little ragged and old, and I was like,
I saw that.
I was like, oh man, he doesn't have many more years left, and that bums me out.
I saw him at Comic-Con back in 2017, the Emperor. Dude,
yeah.
Palpatine ain't looking. Or not Palpatine, what's his name?
Ian McDermott.
Ian McDermott. Dude looks like one of those Draugr things from fucking Elden Ring.
Oh, God.
He does. He's just looking there fried. It was fucking weird.
I mean, he's still got the voice, which is what matters for him, I guess, the most, but... Yeah, I mean, age is not kept up well with him. He definitely is an English person. That's for sure. They age
like that too.
They age like fucking peaches in the sun.
That's raw right there. Yeah, I wasn't standing in that line to actually hear that voice, and I kind of didn't want to get close to him. Like, this dude really does look evil as fuck.
My souls are running out. Get over here.
All right, before we talk about today, we're talking about Elden Ring. Before we do, I did have one more thing to tell Rich, and I was excited to tell you, Rich, in case you didn't know. In December, you can pre-order the TMNT Cowabunga collection for that little Switch you finally got.
Funny story. I already pre-ordered that.
Sweet. I just pre-ordered mine yesterday. I didn't even know about it. I was like, okay.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, that puts a damper on the excitement.
I will pirate that bad boy.
No more money to Konami for Silent
Hill.
Yeah,
I will not give any money to Konami. Fuck Konami.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, Matt wants to do... Well, I wanted to do a Silent Hill, and Matt really wanted to do it with me, but he was like, only 1 through 3. That's it.
Yep.
That's all you get.
That's the correct choice.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't mind because I really enjoyed on the PSP when I had it the
Origins.
Origins. I mean, it was fine.
I would do Origins and Homecoming as well.
Yeah, Homecoming is fine. It's just it's not great.
Yeah.
I watched the movie.
No, sorry, not Homecoming. I will talk about the music of Homecoming. I meant Shattered Memories. I will talk about the game of Shattered Memories because that's actually pretty awesome, if you ask me.
It's interesting. I thought it was interesting. It's still not great in my opinion, but it's.
Oh no. But as far as like the non-Team Silent games, that's the best one.
Thanks to Dave one night when we were playing, he told me the Amnesia collection was
on sale.
Yeah, you should get it.
I did. I skipped it.
Those games are both awesome and absolutely awful at the same time. Have a great time.
Oh, I'll figure it. You ever play Agony?
I have not.
Oh. Yeah, that game's really, really hard. It's just all stealth, no weapon. Just climbing out of the 9 rings of hell or whatever the fuck.
Oh yeah. That's basically what those other games are. Have you played what is the other game they did in between Amnesia,
Soma?
Dark Descent? Soma. Yeah, did you play Soma?
Have not. I've never played an Amnesia game. I remember you talking about it a lot.
Soma might be one of my favorite games of all time, honestly.
Yeah, I think plot-wise, I think Soma's the best one they've done. Yeah. There's a lot of really good shit in the God damn it, I keep blanking on their goddamn names. I keep wanting to say Elden Ring, but
they're not Don't Nod. It's not Don't.
Yeah. No, it's like frictional
games.
Yeah, something like that.
I think so. Now I gotta say. Yes, frictional games. I think there's a lot in Amnesia, Dark Descent, and Rebirth. There's a lot of really good shit. There's like Amnesia, Machine for Pigs was done by a different company.
I always heard that was the bad one.
It's not good. But
I really liked it.
There's good moments. I
liked the story and it was great.
There's absolutely good moments, but it's nowhere near as good as the other two.
Yeah,
I would say Amnesia Rebirth is really, really awesome, I think, but I think towards the end it I think it's the kind of game that feels very different if you're a parent. So.
Yeah, I remember you saying that before.
Yeah,
Have you ever played like Danganronpa?
I have not.
Yeah. That's something you should check out for the Switch as well, because they just came out with the entire collection kind of recently. And it's out now, finally. But you're like, it's an anime, like, detective game. Like, this fucking evil bear picks, like, I think it's like 13 of the best baseball player, the luckiest person, the greatest assassin. And, like, they're all these younger kids that have, like, this past that nobody knows about. And you all go into this school. You get these letters. And you're the luckiest person. And and the only way to get out of the school is you either live there and don't kill each other, or you only get out if you kill each other. And then the rest, all the students try to get together and do, like, a court hearing kind of deal. And whether you're innocent, or if we guess wrong, we all die. Or some shit like that. Yeah.
That sounds insane.
It's fucking awesome. Oh, and there's an anime on Netflix about it too that follows the entire game. Or
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah, it's really, really, really fun. And so one of the dudes is a baseball player. He murdered somebody. So his death was he got strapped to like this post, and there's a fucking those baseball shooting machines.
Oh no.
There's like fucking 10 of those surrounding him, and they just fucking yeah. It's wild. Yeah, it's wild, man.
All right, that seems worth checking out sometime.
Definitely. I've never played the other ones, just the first one. I'm trying to play them in order. I don't think there's any like togetherness of them, but I do want to play them in order. So I don't know. Anyway, we're here to talk about Elden Ring. What's everyone drinking?
They're not like, they don't drop any cool items.
I don't know if you noticed, but my Skype just like turned off.
Yep.
No, we didn't notice at all. It was,
Okay.
Everyone was like, thank God.
Restart the conversation you were just talking about, so I can.
We're talking about Rune Bears.
Rune Bears.
Yeah, fuck Rune Bears.
Yeah, fuck Rune Bears. What's everybody drinking?
Angry Orchard and a water.
All right, I got a nice Voodoo Ranger, so I'm happy. All right, continue with the Rune Bears. You know it's the thing on this show we have to drink.
So, specifically, we're talking about Elden Ring. It's a game that is awesome.
It is.
Yeah, latest game in a long line of, I don't know, what would you call the shit that FromSoft does?
Masochistic pleasure.
Yeah, like
blasphemous torture.
Skill-based RPG.
There you go. Somewhat potentially punishing skill-based action RPG.
I don't know.
Dark fantasy games.
Written by George R.R. Martin.
This time around, yes. The best known.
Or at least the backstory is. The actual narrative was written by.
Well, dude, he probably got like halfway done. They're like, oh, this is good enough.
Yeah. I mean, these games are all about lore anyway. The what do you call them? Soulsborne, named after Dark Souls and Bloodborne, the other two series that FromSoft does that are huge in this style. They're not really about plot. They're about like lore and exploring the world and learning more about the history of it. Like it's less. There's a story, but it's more of like a loose outline.
Yep.
So,
like I didn't know where to go with that Ronnie quest, and fucking Mike showed me the way, and I married her. I was like, okay.
Hell yes.
That's sweet.
I think that's probably a different thing we can totally touch on later. The community aspect of these games.
Yeah.
Like what you just did right there, asking somebody else, and even looking it up is like a core element of all of these games, I think, and part of what makes them awesome.
Right. I try not to look up things. I will spend a good amount of time trying to figure it out, but if I just can't, I'm just like, I'll look it up, like just where to go next, and then I'll go there and just shut my where to go machine off.
Well,
that's my problem is I'm a completionist, so like I have to do everything I possibly can, so I'm always like, where is all the wikis? Where is all the information?
Yeah. I mean,
I need a tome next to me while I play games.
I mean, I think, let's fucking get into it right now. I think they build community into the game with the way that there's built-in co-op, built-in PvP, players systems. Leaving each other notes all over the place for hints.
I kind of hate the notes.
I love that shit because you can fuck with them and it can be useful.
Tri-finger, butthole.
Exactly. Something about dogs,
That was the majority of them. I thought they were hilarious. Like the signs all around, like random animals out in the forest, and they're like, dog ahead.
It's a fucking turtle. I love they build community into it so much that like going out of the game to interact with community more, whether it be looking at FAQs or jumping on Reddits or whatever, like feels like just a natural extension. And some of this shit is so almost intentionally obscure. You almost have to reach out to community to kind of know what the fuck to do. I would never know what to do with any of these games like side quests if I didn't have somebody I knew who's already done it, like Dave, or like access to Dark Souls wikis and the various Reddit threads.
Well, how do you think I feel? This is my first Souls game. All you guys fucking already did this shit. I'm like lost as fuck.
That's
forward.
That's part of the joy, and I think this is probably the best one for newbies to start, outside of maybe the first Dark Souls. Or Bloodborne, I would almost argue is probably harder.
It's harder? It depends.
I don't find this game that hard, except for when it comes to like bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't even find it that hard in general. It's more like the repetition. It is hard, obviously. I'm not downplaying that, but like me and Mitch I asked Mitch, I was like, what do you think about like XCOM? And it's like, yeah, that's a way harder game.
Yeah, XCOM is, if Elden Ring is 100 from 1 to 100 on hardness level, XCOM is like 280.
I think
that's because like XCOM is like strictly in a lot of ways
it's built so
strategic thinking and making sure that because it's not even just the battle itself, it is preparations for the battle.
Yeah. And I would argue I have an easier time with XCOM than I do Souls games. Yeah, fucking terrible at Souls games. Ask Dave how many times like it's like just do a simple jump, and I'm like, all right, let's spend a half an hour watching me fucking fall down and die.
Dude, he
like,
watched me fall down this fucking tower so many fucking times.
Was it the same tower? Tell me it was
Yeah,
the
it
same
was the
fucking
same
tower in
tower.
Caelid.
Yeah.
God damn that bullshit.
Dude, it was just that one jump, and it wasn't a jump. It was you just, drop off the edge.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there like
you
trying
just
to
go
jump to
sailing
it,
off.
and he's like, "Yeah, you can just drop on it." I was like, "What the fuck? I've fallen 30 times."
What are you guys
What gets
talking
me?
about?
There's
The Divine Tower of Caelid.
Oh, okay.
There's
yeah.
like this little drop.
Did you go to the bottom to it? Of it?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Getting down there.
You fight another god skin down there. That's what I was trying to tell you about before.
Yeah, I did that.
The worst thing is when you get to a place, like if you go to a place and you see a lot of bloodstains on the ground, which are, for the people who haven't played these games, that's how you know that a lot of people have died in the area. You can click on these bloodstains on the ground and you'll see how somebody else's last moments before they died. If you die somewhere where there's no bloodstains, it's like this, like, I'm a fucking idiot.
Well,
I feel like...
Well, to be fair, sometimes you see a lot of bloodstains in areas where it's just the community trying to discover if there's a secret there or not. Because there are a lot of places like there's just like random cliff sides.
Oh yeah.
Nobody would jump off unless they were trying to just basically break the game, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. It's like a dozen bloodstains, and you'll see one way off on a cliff you shouldn't even be able to get to, and you're like, well, somebody made it and couldn't go anywhere from there.
They usually leave a message like liar ahead or some shit.
And then there's a message right ahead that's like, pickle! Liar.
My
mushroom ahead.
A really big problem with the messages. A lot of people would put them in front of things you have to interact with.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't let me interact with some of the things.
That happened a few times to me, and it fucking sucked.
Mine happened at 2 sites of grace. I was like, oh, fuck.
There's an arrow thing where you can just switch it over to interact.
It wouldn't appear for some reason.
Yeah, sometimes I think they fixed that in one of the patches.
Okay.
But yeah,
it's usually like ladders or bonfire type thing. They're not bonfires in this. They're
Sites of Grace.
Sites of Grace. Yeah.
They look about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look identical pretty much.
Me and Dave agreed that after I finished this game, because I'm on Malekith right now, I thought we had another week. Remember, I'd messaged you all, and I was wrong. I thought I said the 11th, not the 4th. But I'm on Malekith, and once I beat
you
the game,
probably put enough hours in this game that you can talk about it, even if you've not beaten it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't beaten it either. I'm in the mountaintop of the giants or whatever. Like, I haven't even beaten it yet.
Dude, the fire giant is such a fun fight. Me and Dave did that. That shit was fun.
Sweet.
Yeah, I love that fight.
I just messaged Dave earlier today that I'm like, I really want to kind of like double down and finish this game. So as soon as I get time again, I'm going to be messaging him. I'm like, help me finish this shit because I'm loving it, but I'm done. And I want to see it to the end.
Yeah, I will say I am looking forward to, when Mitch is done, because after this, I'm going to be helping him through Bloodborne.
Ooh, Bloodborne.
Yeah, he said he really wanted to play Bloodborne, and I was like, I'm buying it. And then he messaged me the other day, you getting the new Batman game? I was like, my kid likes Batman. That's an excuse to buy it, right?
Oh, shit. Bloodborne has an up to 3-player limit max. I might just pull out my old character and jump in on occasion. That would be fun.
Let's do it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'll probably end up... I'll have to see if my last character still... Or I see what characters I still have on it. I might start a new one, but I do have a really cool Hammer Knight that I did.
See, Bloodborne was the only other one of these games that I've played. And I made it to... Was it the Blood-Starved Beast?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I had an absolutely terrible time with that.
Oh, I love that game. It's my favorite game.
Almost had the same experience with the end of this game. But, like, when Mitch messed up the show, and he's like, we're doing it tonight. And I'm like, this is the motivation I need.
I would,
I fucking respect my character, and I'm like, I'm using the other thing I hate in this game, which is the dragons. And I'm using only dragon powers, and I fucking finally did it.
Sweet. I think it's great being in a situation where it's like, fucking respect. Just do it. Who gives a shit?
Dude, I like respecing my character.
Yeah.
Like, I've only done it like twice, but I was about to do it again to just fight Malekith. Because on me and Mike's second try, we got him down to like halfway past his name on the health bar. It's like, it's a fun fight. I mean, in general,
I think the only thing that really makes his fight hard is just when he's able to use the death power. Yeah. So, like, not only does it like it cuts your life, like, health down, but it also cuts the maximum health down.
See,
I don't like the sound of that at all.
He only cut my health down.
You must experience destined death.
I'm about to. Yeah.
He only cut mine down like an eighth. Does that sound right?
It depends on how, like, if he hits you enough with that power. It can get like it's not a permanent debuff to your health. It's only like until that thing wears off. But like in the middle of a fight, that's
bad time.
Yeah.
I really like him though. Like as a character, same thing with Radon. Radon's fight is definitely my favorite because it's like we're just giving you this honorable death, and we're all here to do it.
I like the situation, the build up around it, and how you have a whole bunch of like AI in it that does make it feel really fucking epic.
Yeah,
that's cool shit.
Even though that fight lasted like 5 seconds with Dave.
Oh yeah, he'll help you just tear that thing apart.
I was like, hey, let's just go play through Caelid, and I was like, oh, I'm just like over here. I don't know what's going on. I unlocked the Radon thing. He's like, oh, well, let's just go fight him. I was like, okay, and like. 1 second later, like 5 seconds later.
It is funny that like at that point, you know, we were able to tear through him real easily. But like when this game first came out, I played through with my first character, which was a mage. Which in most of the Souls games, magic is fucking ridiculously overpowered, and it's pretty strong in this game, but it's definitely nowhere near what it is in Demon's Souls or Dark Souls 1.
It's not blood, it's not a blood build.
Yeah, it's not a blood build, that's for sure. But anyway, like when I played through that first Radon fight with that character, I died probably 50 times that first run before I was able to beat him.
I died way more than that. I was everywhere that I could go before I beat Radon. I hated him. Like his first phase, like it's cool that you get to summon all your people and run towards him, but like while he's shooting at you is kind of just annoying and cheap. And then I could not tell, like, what the fuck was going on the vast majority of the time.
Yeah, and plus, like, the huge run to even get to him at the start.
Then I seen his tiny horse, and I'm like, oh, man.
But he's actually not riding the horse, so...
He's kind of riding on it.
It's gravity magic.
Yeah, that's the whole like lore of it. Is that's why he learned gravity magic, is because he's so big he didn't want to hurt his horse because he loves his horse so much.
What's the story about chopping his feet off though? That's what I wanted to hear because I noticed he had no feet and just little like what is it? Little gravity magic floating around his feet or his ankles.
I don't know if I noticed that.
I didn't even notice the horse when we fought him. There wasn't. He was in one place and he died. Like he didn't move.
Fair, like you basically entered there and he was dead because we just wrecked shop on him.
Yeah, like he's just fucking hauling ass up to him, and I'm just running, summoning all these people. I was like, yeah, we're gonna need you. We're gonna need all you guys. Yeah. I get up to him. I got like 2 hits in. He was just dead.
Like. Did his meteor like not even activate for you guys?
No, no, not even. No, I don't think. I think one spell started to activate one time, and he was done. It was bad.
See, that was I don't know. I thought the meteor thing was really cool, but it's like where the fuck is he? Like as it slowly gets lighter, you're like, oh fuck.
Oh, that was such a fucking fun fight. Now, with Malekith being like, he looks like a beast clergyman, are all the...
He is the beast clergyman.
So, all of the ones you find in the world are the same dude? It's him?
Well, there's only one beast clergyman. There's the one in that thing where you get all the beast incantations from, and when you finally completed his quest, he disappears. And even if he doesn't, even if you beat Malekith, he's no longer there if you go back. So.
Okay, yeah, because I found him before, and he just stood there and just didn't do anything, and I slapped him once, and he just destroyed the whole fucking place and killed me.
Well, he's an NPC. You're supposed to talk to him.
I tried to, it didn't have the icon for talking.
That's weird.
He just mumbles at you unless you give him Death Root and do D's quest. But I thought he was still there because I was paying attention to it because I thought he was Malekith, but the beast clergymen, their names are different. And I'm pretty sure he killed Malekith and went back and gave him more Death Root. I'm not too sure on that. I know they look exactly the same.
And they have the same name in the first phase because before he's Malekith, it says Garank.
Does it?
Yep.
Mine just says beast clergyman.
I'll have to recheck.
His name though is Garank because if you get his spells that he gives you in that quest, they're Garank spells.
Oh, okay. How'd you do with Radon, Rich?
Wondering why he was
Oh shit! Sorry, I was muted for a second there. Sorry. I got my ass rocked by him a whole bunch, and then I leveled up a bunch, and then I came back with Dave, and we crushed him.
It's always the Dave.
Yeah, it's like I was 15 to 20 levels higher than I was the first time, and I brought Dave along. So
it's like when you make Hamburger Helper, and there's no meat. Dave is the meat. He's the key ingredient in this situation. How long did it take you to beat him, Mike?
You
already
forever.
Said. You did.
It was. Yeah. Was that I beat the moon chick before I beat him?
Oh yeah, I think you should do that.
Yeah, you're supposed to. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was fighting him before. What's the first dude's name? Is it Godfrey or Godric? Godric.
Oh really?
Yeah,
dude.
I went to Caelid super early, and I was like, why am I getting murdered constantly?
I went to Caelid early too, but it's because I found a trap chest that teleported me there.
Oh my god.
That's what happened to that wretch character that we all played with.
Yeah.
That you don't play with anymore. You just
I went back and made a profit. Well, I wanted to beat every boss by myself, and that went to a certain point, and then I was like, okay, I'm using summons. I think it was the moon chick.
I never understood there is a certain level of just pride in being able to do it yourself if you want to.
That's what it is.
But beyond that, it's really meant to be a something you do with friends.
Yeah, it's in the game, and I personally believe that this game is way more fun with friends.
Yeah.
Especially if you both fucking suck.
I think this is a game that I think is best if you do a mix of both, because I think getting those highs and lows, the lows of being by yourself and totally fucked and exploring into the unknown by the sense of isolation,
Yeah,
the world does. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would just do everything I would do everything by myself up to the boss, and then usually fight the boss with somebody else, one of my friends.
See, the thing with Rodan is he's more set up to be that than any of the other bosses are,
Yeah. I'm kind of doing a little bit of everything. Do some bosses by yourself if the opportunity presents itself, do some with friends. I think I have enjoyed playing through Souls games in general more with a mix than just entirely by myself. I played through Dark Souls 2 entirely by myself, and I have a lot of really good memories of that game, but I still summoned in help from randos on occasion on super hard bosses, but having a bro is super helpful, and just sharing the suffering and sharing the stuff together, and it's part of that community aspect I talked about earlier that is just super vital to these.
Right.
How do you guys feel about the ghosts?
I love them.
They helped me 2 or 3 times knowing where I was going to go, But a lot of times, like, I would be sneaking, like, across the corner in the catacombs, and I'd see a ghost run out in my peripherals. I'd freak the fuck out.
Same.
And then an imp would fucking kick my ass.
Right.
I just like knowing there's other people doing this at the same time and having that visual indicator. There was a few times even, like, I would see Dave as we were, like, going to meet up at a location and get, like, drop our signs. Where we would, like, see each other's ghosts, and that's cool. Like, I like that.
Me and Mitch did that the Grand Cloister in the Big Gas Rot Lake. Like, we died to what's his name, Astral or whatever. And, like, when I was going down there to put my sign down, I seen Mitch run across the same path that we went across earlier. I was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about that giant mayfly fucker.
Astel, yeah.
You fucking
Astel,
took me to that bastard.
I love that fight. I think he's a fun fight.
That was fun. The second time you fight him is less fun. Just because it's the second time.
He's one of those bosses that, like, it makes actually no sense when you fight him again. Like, that's one of the few complaints I have about this game is how much they reuse certain enemies.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially boss enemies.
I had so much fucking fun when I found that windmill village with all the dancing crazy ladies.
Oh, yeah.
Still never found it.
Fought the god skin. And I was like, oh, this fight is so much fucking fun. It feels like I'm like strategizing all the fight and everything. And then, like, I fight him 4 more times. And I'm like, oh, man, that sucks.
Right. They reused the god skin like 4 or 5 times, I've noticed.
And they also reuse the what is it, the tree serpent.
Oh my god, yeah.
Morget and his dad, who is
the ulcerated
one
is the worst.
Yeah, the tree spirit's fucking blow.
I like fighting Morget more, truthfully.
I enjoyed the fight of the god devouring serpent.
Yes, I loved it.
Who had swallowed like because you get like that crazy super like magic spear thing.
Yeah.
I summoned in the tier, the clone duplicate.
The mimic. Tier. Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, the mimic tier.
Yeah.
And like, you both have them.
Yeah, and it's like that's just me and this mimic just fucking unloading into this thing. It was just fucking cool. Like, it felt epic.
Yeah,
I picked up that weapon, had no idea what I just picked up, and I just went forth and fought him with my Halo scythe. Almost killed him. And I was like, what's this weapon do? I'm like, it doesn't look like it's anything special. And then, you start shooting those fucking spears out. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah. There's a dude in the manor up top who tells you about it. He's like, use this motherfucking thing and kill that asshole.
I seen it, and just, like, I look at my, like, big list of fucking weapons at this point, and it's like, where the fuck was the last thing I picked up? I found out just not too long ago, though, that if you go in your menu and you press L3, there's an organizer, and it gives you, like,
that's where you get
acquired, or what's it, acquisition, and it tells you the order in which you got your weapons. It's fucking so useful. There's also a thing when you go to the map, if you just press, I forget which order, but you press triangle and then, or square and then triangle, and it just teleports you to the round table.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, that's useful.
Yeah, I was wondering how my mimic, I was like, damn, he's fucking tearing this dude up, and I looked over and I was like, oh, he has the cool spear too. And we just started fucking his day up. It was fucking fun. I don't understand why people, like, with that double Godskin fight, why a lot of people think that one's really hard.
I hated it.
I did it, like, 5th or 6th try. I had my mimic, but...
The only Godskin fight that really bugged me, and it wasn't, like, because it was bad or that it was hard, but just because it was tedious, is the one where it's, like, the spirits of the Godskins... And like you have to fight them both and defeat them, and then once you've defeated them, then it's the snail thing that summons them. You have to kill the snail.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
that's hilarious. So, that's like the kind of the perfect thing to put in this game, though.
What was that one?
It's in one of the little dungeons.
It's when you go to the frozen lake where it's all like misty, if you go up like to the right of it, there's a stone sword key fucking thing, and you go in there, and then it's like a bunch of the summoning fucking shit, and it's like the snails are summoning shit the entire fucking way through the fucking
It's
thing.
even fucking foreshadowed.
I know what you're talking. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
That's the one where you fight like the god skin, then he turns into the god skin apostle?
Yeah.
Ah.
I haven't finished that dungeon. I need to go back and do that.
It's what is it? The ghost of Godfrey or whatever in the Capitol. That one drove me nuts for a little while.
I fucking wrecked him, dude.
I did not.
Yeah, I was about to say, like I'll be honest. Every time, and I played through the game several times now, I get there. He's one of those bosses that he's like in Demon Souls. He's like the adjudicator, where every time I played those games, I run into him and go, oh, hey, that's neat. Beat him, then immediately forget about him.
What was like your guys' hardest area? Like that was hardest for you to get through?
Caleb
at first.
I think Caelad's even worse than the Hilgen or the Sacred Snowfield or whatever.
That's pretty much where I am right now in the
Actually,
game,
wait, no, I take that back.
Snowfield.
It's not Caelid. Caelad's not the hardest, at least for me. The hardest is the Halig tree, and only the first part of it. Like once you get past Loretta.
I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't made it to that part yet, but the hardest thing for me was the Capitol, and it was because of those fucking knights.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like at first, I could take one night at a time, but 2 nights would ruin my shit.
And then when you go down the sewer and you meet the hands.
Yes, the hands. The first time I ran into the big hands when I was going to meet Ranny. Those things fucking wrecked my shit too when you have to deal with more than one of those at the same time.
Right.
It's like it's hard for
Wait until
me to
you get to Mountaintop of the Giants.
Oh,
no,
dude, you're
I've
talking
had to deal
about
with those
XXXL hands.
I've had to deal with I'm at a place where I had to deal with a bunch of those hands there. I'm like, God damn it.
There's one that's a triple XL. Like there's larger size than the large.
It's like the size of a fucking.
That one is so much fun when it comes out because you're like, oh, there's this horrible death bird right there, and then just.
Giant hand. Oh no. Oh,
yeah,
no.
It's like there's 2 of them, right, Dave? Like on top of that, like little.
In that area, structure. I think there's a total of 4 altogether. But yeah, that when you first encounter them, there's 2 up on top.
You won't even notice them unless you look up, and they won't even like come to life unless like you get real close. But if you even ride by on your horse, those motherfuckers come down and just pancake you.
Well, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
No, it's fucking terrifying.
I just shoot them with incantations. I'm like, fuck you.
We all need to do like a 4-way battle. Oh, I wish we could do a 4-way battle. We could do it like a 3-way battle. Me and Mike fought yesterday. That was fun.
I have like 3-4 different weapons types I fuck around with. I always use the coated sword, the halo scythe, or what was the other thing I used? I've used a few other things, but I always had to like switch around. So bitch like, oh, we should fight. I'm like, well, I got like 3 different styles of fighting. Which should I use? Wanted to use the madness on him. I think I can take you with the madness.
You died though.
Didn't use my madness spear though.
Yeah, no, you didn't. At the last end where I got you on that 2 out of 3, like. If I wouldn't have swung like, I don't know, half a second earlier or whatever, I would have died. Like I was at nothing left and you were at nothing left. Those were fun though.
Kind of going through talking about bosses. What about NPCs? Like, what are your favorite NPCs and storylines that you've done?
I'm really terrible with the names. Was it Milena? This was like one of my favorite characters.
Oh yeah, Milena is really interesting. I think. You're talking about the main your maiden basically, right?
No, she's like a fucking clone of what's her name or something.
Oh, okay. You're talking about Millicent.
Millicent, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I really like Millicent as well.
Yeah.
I like Blood, man.
It's cool also because like her story parallels the boss's story, so you get to like hear the story without having to hear the boss say it.
Yeah.
That is really cool. I really liked and I've talked to Dave about this a lot too. Like, just I liked the story as it goes through with the Ranny quest line and the characters that it kind of like includes. Like, I'm a huge Berserk fan, so you reference Berserk, then like I'm already in your fucking like corner slobbering. And they have this game's gigantic, awesome fucking Berserk.
They have Guts' like sword.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I suddenly fucking forgot his name, and I wear his armor. Blythe is basically a Guts homage.
Blythe, that's his name.
Oh, really?
That dude rules, and like...
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, he is... Like, that character is fucking awesome, and his fucking whole tragic story is just... I love it. And then how that whole storyline plays out and ties in with the Ranny storyline, which is...
Ranny's shadow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question about that. He's this hulking beast looking dude. Yeah. And then when you talk to him, does he not remind you of Thor Ragnarok, whenever Thor gets thrown into the fucking like prison cell with the dude that looks like he's made out of rock? Hi, friend. Doesn't he remind you of that guy, like the voice?
Oh, you mean Korg?
Yeah. That's all I picture.
He's got a similar accent.
And I'm just starting to fucking crack up every time
I
he
think
talks.
He's a little more soft-spoken, I think.
I love him.
Like I like that he's this giant hulking man with a wolf head, but he's just super soft-spoken and generally friendly. But then you see him in battle, and he's just like a complete fucking berserker. And I'm like, I love this dude.
I thought the wolf head was his real head.
I think it is. It is.
Yeah, because Malakath is also a shadow, and he has the beast form or whatever.
Yeah, he's a beast man.
Yeah. The difference is that like what makes him special is that he's kind of broken free to some extent from his I guess programming, as it were. Like that's what made him special, but it also kind of drove him crazy. So I don't know. Cool dude, love him.
My favorite NPC by far, I think, is probably Raya the Scout.
I didn't get to interact.
Oh yeah, I fucked up her quest line. I had to read it online, but that seems like a really cool one. I know I got to the point where you learn her reveal, like her initial reveal, and that was an eye opening. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Cool.
Don't tell me, because I haven't gotten there yet. Yeah. No, tell me.
I have to go back through to experience it because I fucked up the quest.
Yeah, so it's totally worth doing.
Mitch did too, because you're already at the Volcano Manor, right? Mm-hmm. Is that where it's like the mess up or whatever?
It's messed up if you kill the boss. If you don't, to do it correctly, you have to talk to her a bunch of times and then progress through the dungeon, through the secret entrance to it, and then kind of go back to her a few times, and then you'll run into her in the dungeon. Yeah. But if you just go murder a bunch of your own fucking kind and then go kill the boss and don't do the dungeon, then you fuck up her quest line. So
I guess I must have fucked it up then.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you know. Oh yeah, we did. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you go back to the manor afterwards, Mitch?
Wait, what did we do towards that?
We killed that one dude, so it like messed it up.
What one dude?
The snake dude.
Yeah.
Devoured.
Rykart?
Yeah.
No, I killed him by myself. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but he's dead. That fucked up the quest.
Oh, I thought you were saying if two people did it, because I was gonna say I
no.
Did that. Then
like you can after she moves into the dungeon. You can kill Rykard then, but if you kill Rykard before she moves into the dungeon, then she just leaves the Volcano Manor with everyone else. So
yeah,
his voice is so fucking funny, man. When that face came out, and he's like, he goes, "No, we can devour the gods together." It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Another character that I love is.
I just realized none of you guys, other than I don't know about. Well, I know Rich and Mitch have definitely not fought this boss yet, but Moog is another one.
I beat Moog.
Yeah, Moog is fun.
I'm looking forward to dealing with him.
He's the Lord of Blood.
Where's he at?
He's in that place where the
metal that the white mask dude gives you.
Yeah,
can teleport you to.
Yeah, he's in the dynasty. He's up the dynasty mausoleum.
You get
a
chicken
metal farm spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it? I just found his portal in the was it the Sacred Snow area or whatever?
Oh, okay.
For the Hilgen tree.
I think it's insane to talk about NPCs in a FromSoft game and not give a shout out to Patches.
I killed Patches.
Oh, you piece of trash.
Yeah, my second playthrough right now, I accidentally killed him too, just because I was so strong when I did the fight against him.
I love Patches so much. I feel a kinship, but that's probably because he's the closest character ever in a video game to look like me, and honestly, probably if I'm being true. Yes. Personality wise, I feel a lot of kinship with him. Like, I feel like if I was in a world like these, I would behave the exact same way and just completely fuck people and take their shit.
Yeah, Patches is a fucking cunt, dude. I
love him so much.
And no, it's because he fucking puts a chest in the corner of the room. I was like, oh, I forgot a chest. I open up. Oh, thieving hands, huh? I wake up. The whole screen goes black.
Sneaky piece of shit you are.
Yeah, I fucking wake, the whole screen goes black. I wake up and I'm surrounded by bears.
Yep.
Like, I love fucking cunt.
I love him all the way to the where, like, if you go into his menu to buy something and he decide not to, then he kind of gives you shit. I just love him. He's just a complete, and the way he fucks you over repeatedly.
Repeatedly.
Oh yeah, he screws you over multiple times.
I told Mitch about one of them. You might have missed it. I don't know if any of you guys seen it, but he joins you for the fight with Radan, and it pops up like Patches is being summoned, and as soon as that message goes away, another one pops up. It's like Patches left.
Never mind.
I think my favorite betrayal is on the lead up, and it's a classic for him.
Yeah.
On the lead up to Volcano Manor, you'll see a bunch of those the pebble stones.
Yes, glinting pebble stones. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you follow them to the edge, he'll kick you off.
What the
fuck? It's so good. He does that in every game, and
it's so good.
You literally, it's coming, and you're like, oh yeah, I know what's happening here. I've played a Souls game before.
I don't even.
And
know
then
you get,
and then every time it happens, you're just like, yeah, that's Patches.
Yeah, I don't even know what you guys are talking about, honestly.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
But I'm glad I did not get kicked off or follow Pebblestones. I'm not fucking ET following Reese's Pieces.
I love in Volcano Manor, he'll
make you do his work for him.
He'll make you do his work for him. He's like, oh, by the way, they gave me a letter for you. And you're like, what? And you're like, yeah, it's somebody you got to kill. And if you read the letter, it's specifically addressed to Patches.
Wait, where does this come in at?
At Volcano Manor, they give you guys to assassinate for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you talk to Patches, he'll give you a letter that was given to him.
I never did that. I didn't do that.
You have to talk to him. And then if you give it to him and then you come back and tell him that you completed it, he's like, cool, don't worry, just give me the letter back. I'll tell them that the guy's dead. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
He still gives you a pretty sweet.
If you come back and talk to him again, you can call him out on it like, hey, where's my payment for doing that? And he's like, what? Oh, fuck. Fine, you fucking greedy bastard.
That's fun. Like, there's all these little secret neat.
Yeah.
Have you followed his quest to at least as far as it's gotten so far? I think they're going to patch more in for him, obviously. But.
I know he goes back to his cave at some point.
No, he goes to the right before the entrance to the Briarheart or the Briar Knight boss fight. The one that's
they did patch in
Castle.
They did patch in an ending to his quest, and it comes after that, and he goes back to his cave.
Oh, cool.
You can,
I just
go there
he's
and
at
talk
the
to
cave. That's all.
Yeah.
I had so much trouble with the invasion before his cave that I didn't go in there until I was leveled pretty high, and he surrendered like right as I like pressed R2. So he was fucked.
Yeah, all these like fun little secrets in the game is what makes this game just, I don't know. It's a different game altogether than anything I've ever played, and I'm in love with it.
Yeah, I mean that's what Miyazaki does. It's kind of his thing.
When I first played the first Souls game I ever played, and I've mentioned it on my show like a gajillion times, the first Dark Souls, I wanted to play it because I wanted to know what the fucking big deal is. Like, people talked about those games like they just slobbered all over them like constantly, and to the point where it irritated me that I didn't know what the deal was. So then I played the first one, and like I did not get it. At first I was like, this isn't so fucking hard, and then very quickly it gets really hard, and I was just hated it, and I hated it, and I hated it, and I hated it, but I refused to quit because like sometimes when people tell you that something is so good and you don't get it, you're just like, everyone's stupid. But this is one of those rare situations where I was like, I don't think that people are wrong. I just don't get it. And I really want to get it and see what people love about these so much. And thankfully, I pushed on and I did get there. Like, I saw what I needed to see and understood them. Like, it just finally clicked. And now I love this series. I trust FromSoft with these, like with impunity. I'll play any of these that they make. And like Elden Ring is now like possibly my favorite
ever made.
It's possibly my favorite game of like the last like 10 years.
Yeah.
My experience
I was feeling that for a bit.
My experience was like, so my wife, her nephew was like 14, 15 years old whenever I first started like dating her, so I would go to her parents' house. So like one of those Sundays where it's every Sunday, it's one of those family get together dinner things. Like the entire family, cousins, nephews, like whatever the fuck, the entire family comes together. Well, all this dude did was sit in the corner and play games, and all I did was sit there and play games after I talked to them so many times. And so like a year later, I'm like kind of tired of talking all day, so I'll just chill and play my Switch and whatever. And he's playing Dark Souls in the other room, and I was like, what is the fascination with this? Because I'm watching this kid. He's just a kid. He annihilated all of these fucking games. Like, I watched him do it. And I was like, so all you do is just hit, dodge. He's like, yeah, pretty much. But it's really fun. And I was like, I don't think I could get into a game like this. So I hear about this Elden Ring. And then I find out it's a Souls game. And that it's taking the world by storm. And I'm like, all right, I'll just get it. Because Kyle said, my buddy Kyle just got a PS5, and I was like, let's both get it, let's play. We still have not played together. So I'm playing it, and I'm like, these dudes aren't following a fucking pattern. Look up online. Elden Ring is the only Souls game where they break free of patterns and can do whatever the fuck they want. And I just look up, I'm like, fuck. I must have picked the wrong one. Nope. Mm-hmm. This game is just too fucking good. It's too good the way it is. It just is. Like,
see, there's certain problems that I have with the game series, like the bosses having like their tracking attacks really fucks with me. I remember this specifically from Dark Souls. It happened so many times. In the beginning, when you're fighting the crazy people in the village and you go down the stairs and you're on that road, I was fighting that group of people, And I'm like, oh, this is my opening. And I do the running jump attack that I love to do so much. And a spear comes through this motherfucker's body and hits me. And I'm like, I absolutely hate this in games. But the aesthetic of this game is so appealing to me that I just can't let the series go. I love how everything looks like for some reason, a Japanese studio that makes like Western influenced like medieval fantasy. That's insane. And you kind
what's
of
interesting is that
like
that
Square
better
does it
than
too,
most Western companies.
There's a huge difference between like Square and Miyazaki's work. It's kind of the reason why the games are as esoteric as they are, is because Miyazaki's love for high fantasy came from when he was a kid. He wanted to get into all these high fantasy books, and they were all in only English at the time. Yeah. There was no translated copies over in Japan. So he had to try and kind of like read these with the broken little bit of English that he was able to, learn in high school and stuff like he was doing. And because, he basically was kind of reading these stories piecemeal and having to fill in the gaps himself, that's why like the Souls series especially is all about kind of like you're a video game archaeologist.
Yeah, it's all about it's less about plot and more about discovering the world and lore.
Yeah.
And that's
like the Japanese like aesthetic doesn't really come out to me in these games, except for like how like the random people that wander around the world and shit, how they have like elongated arms and necks and stuff. Yeah. That's like classic Japanese horror right there.
I think it's just because he's a fan of he's a true hardcore fan of the genre. Like, I mean, he's like how like certain nerds are total weebs and obsessed with Japanese stuff.
Yeah.
This dude is completely like way into like this medieval fantasy type stuff. Like that's his vibe.
I think there's a name for that. Like Japanese people are obsessed with American culture. Like
it's like English, like this type of fantasy is like
this is more an Anglo than American, because we never had knights in America. So.
Yeah.
But we didn't have knights in like Japan either.
Yeah. And like I think that's why like it's just he loves that stuff so much he's able to like add to it in a way. Like use it, but like use it in a creative way that's like additive rather than just like I'm repeating something that I've seen before.
Yeah.
It's like
really the only major influences from Japanese made media that he kind of pulls in is Berserk. And Vinland Saga.
Yeah.
Well, see, there's also some like Japanese folklore that's in the games.
Oh, like, obviously. Well, the entire ethos of pretty much every Souls game are all based around Shintoism.
Yeah.
Well, there's like there's this is it Zuli the Witch? I think the person's name is on YouTube. They do like breakdowns of like how the mechanics of everything work, and they're like data mine the game and find all this stuff.
Yeah, I know Zuli.
Awesome YouTuber. Yeah. But they made how the Dung Eater is like obviously a hilarious name, but like there was an enemy in Sekiro, the Headless, and whenever they would kill you, they would rip this thing out of your anus and then shove it into their anus.
Oh, God.
What? And the Japanese believed that there was like this jewel that was in your anus that was like your soul.
Oh, it's the flower.
It's
the male flower.
It's called the prostate.
Yes, the male flower.
Oh God, damn, dude.
Oh, so dude, I don't know. That's even worse. He's ripping out people's prostates and eating them.
It's seriously fucked up. Quick story.
Yeah.
There's a skate park. It's called Wheeling Skate Park I used to go to. The bowl is like 20 foot deep, and I knew this dude. His name was Doug. Like I've fallen from the top of this bowl, like the highest point in it, and hit the fucking ground. My earbuds like shot out of my fucking ears, and I was just like laying there. because like all I did was do a kick turn and I caught the coping.
No.
So I just tripped and straight down. My boy Doug, he's just this crazy motherfucker. He tried to ollie into the deep end, like just ollie and just land. He had to go to the doctor. He blew his prostate out.
Oh no!
He had an anal prolapse. Yeah, that's how fucking hard he landed it. He stuck the landing, and like the force just threw him into the ground. Yeah.
Oh god.
So they were like, yeah, we kind of gotta push that back in there.
That's nuts.
Yeah, like that. Ooh. I haven't seen Doug in a long time.
Now, though,
but...
you can tell him. You can just tell him next time you see him. It's like, hey, it could have been worse, dude. You know, your doctor could have ripped out your prostate and ate it.
And
I'm not going to come to somebody and tell him that, but okay.
Forever.
And all your all your lineage is cursed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God
man. Like
damn.
I saw the video. He fucking landed. He bent his knees straight down, and then like everything he just like it's like gravity became 10 times.
I don't like it.
And he
I've actually
fucking earth.
I have
weird.
seen on a similar note, like weightlifting videos of dudes who try to put up too much in a squat.
No, I've seen it. I know.
The pants explode, and just their whole fucking yeah, it's a bad time.
That's how volcanoes are made.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, dude, they fucking have anal prolapse because they lift too much. You ever seen those dudes that lift up so much blood just starts spraying out of their nose and shit?
Yep.
It's fucking like watching a fucking anime. You're like, whoa, Master Roshi,
Jesus.
you see somebody's titty? Damn.
I will get this done.
I hope fucking like, yeah, you proved you're very strong, but you lost your asshole.
Yeah. I mean, there is limits, there is.
Well, in typical
anyway.
like Elden Ring Soulsborne style, some people have the innate need to push through and to not be stopped by.
You knew that was coming.
Yeah.
You left a wide opening right there, much like that dude's ass.
Oh man.
My first character was named the Gaped One.
You did, yeah. Legend.
Very apt to bring it up.
That
All
should
right,
just be your Skype photo.
I have to leave here pretty soon because my wife needs to go to sleep. So before I bail, I would just love to hear what is everybody's inspiration for their player character, the character that they've been playing as. Like my character is heavily influenced by the X-Men character Magic, from the New Mutants. She's like a mystical sword-wielding badass goth chick. I'm just a huge fan of the character and was able to make a pretty I just gothed her out a little bit with some makeup, and I got a sweet like red hood because I just thought it looked good on it. But that was like my inspiration for my original build and the aesthetic of the character. What about you guys? Like, did you just kind of create something like out of the blue with no intent? Did you have a goal in mind? Did you base it off something else you're a fan of?
Well, me personally, I was just doing it for a while, and then I noticed like whenever you get like a mask in the game, you're just like this faceless, like stone cold thing with your mask. Like you're just this person that shows up and fucks shit up. And eventually I ended up using, what's it called? The twin armor?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, it's just like a living statue just coming to fuck shit up. I was like, yeah, that's what I want to be. I just want to be this like essentially faceless, stone-faced character that's just...
I think... For me, my final character, the one I'm pretty much sticking with, my main, I guess you'd say, I decided to go with the bandit background. So I made her specifically to be like just kind of I can't, is it Draconian was her like race? So she's got like the dark night skin.
Okay.
And so I was trying to make her very much like, just like this assassin kind of just bandit rogue character. So
I kind of started like that when I got the exile armor, and that's what gave me my inspiration for like what I wanted to do. Yeah.
I did end up also sticking with my character as far as gear. I stuck with a red hood for a while because like in my head it was like, well, I stuck with the armor of Blythe's because I'm a Blythe fanboy. So in my head, this character who I initially envisioned as like building her off the X-Men character Magic in world, I was like, yeah, I love that can. I was like, I'm doing the Ranny quest and I'm gonna marry Ranny, but she's really obsessed with Blythe, and so I'm wearing his armor as like tribute to this dude. But he was a wolf man, so I'm wearing a red hood because it's like Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah.
See, my main character is named Joan of Rings, and my whole point was to be Joan of Arc and cause a religious uprising and throw the whole world into chaos, and that's why I chose the Frenzied Flame.
Nice, I like that.
I'm honestly kind of like, because I need to kind of make that decision here as I'm on my road to the end of the game. Like, my hero is trying to fucking leave. My wife's going to be so mad. I don't know what direction I'm going to go in the ending because, like, I like the idea of Rannies, like, at first, but the more I think about it, like, I kind of want to, like, just completely fuck the entire structure of the world. Like, no more people in power. No more gods, no more people at the top of the food chain, just burn it all down and start over again, kind of.
Yep.
Level the playing field. And so I almost kind of want to do like the one that introduces death back into
Destined Death.
Destined Death. That
all you have to do Fea's quest.
I've done that quest. Like I've done a bunch of those quests to completion, so I have the rune I get a pick in the end. Now,
well, I have a question for you then, real quick. What do you think the DLC will be?
We talked about this yesterday, yeah.
I have no idea, and that's what excites me.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be about Godwyn the Golden, which I would really love to see, and the other guy, was it Melena's or whatever her name is, a brother?
Are they not in the game at all? Okay. The thing about also worth pointing out about these games like FromSoft, when they do DLC, it's like a size, like it's not just game. It's not just like some bullshit just tacked on the side. Like it's like feels valuable to the entire experience. I know Dark Souls 1 added one new area, but it felt so important to the lore and it was really lengthy. Dark Souls 2 added multiple areas that added like a completely new plot to it that was really good. Bloodborne it felt like it was half the games in length they added, and was also extremely expansive to the game world and lore. And Dark Souls 3 did the same thing. So I can only imagine that whatever they add to this, it will possibly be multiple parts and extremely expansive. Like it won't just be one short area. Well, I can't imagine they would do that.
That's how I've realized that like Destiny, their seasons actually create and like expand on lore, and I thought I was just doing, like you said, just some bullshit. And then as I keep playing forward and forward, once the new actual DLC drops, it all comes together. Yeah. And I was like, wow.
Well, that's what happens when you can do long form storytelling like that. Like that's kind of the perk of it, I think.
It's like you can say whatever you want about like Bungie selling Halo and just wanting to make a new thing. That's totally fine, but then they did it like the right way with story, and you never really realize it until you hit that new DLC. Like when the Witch Queen dropped, all that shit, all those seasons from the last one from Beyond Light came up and led into this like crazy ass shit with like the Hive and Savathun and the Ghosts and the Light and the fucking Traveler. It's fucking crazy.
So you kind of have some idea of what to like, how this sort of thing can be expansive and really add to the experience. So that's cool.
Rich, real quick.
Yes. This is the last thing. After this, I got to bail.
You fought Fea or did the Fea thing, you fought the Lynch Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that giant monstrosity is Godwyn. The big fish tail with the clam face.
Okay, yeah.
That's all. You can be gone, sir.
Sir.
He said, "I'm
Thanks,
not answering
guys.
any more questions. No more cameras."
I am
I'm
out. If you guys keep going, that's cool. It's been great joining you guys again for a conversation.
Always good.
We'll see you for the Bloodborne conversation next.
Oh my God. Yes. I love these games. You guys take care.
We're doing this for you, Rich.
Adios, muchachos.
It's not like I can do it on my own show, so I'm glad I have somewhere to fucking slobber all over this. I love them so much. Just gush.
Tell Jake to just push his plants away and just start.
Never gonna happen. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Later.
Adios.
All right.
And then there were 3. Which is the limited amount of characters you can have in this game at once.
Yeah. And you can cause a whole lot of trouble with 3 characters.
I bet.
So what's everyone's favorite area, though? Let's just talk about the areas, like in order.
Favorite area.
How about that? We'll do that. We'll talk about our favorite, and then we'll go through the areas.
Besides the pale cripples with the white blood, I hate the swamp area. I just don't think it's interesting, and I mostly ran through it.
Yeah. I honestly think, on the whole, Liurnia has a lot of stuff, but not a lot of content, if that makes sense.
Depth. Not a lot of depth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like for me, my favorite area is honestly the starting area. The starting area and probably the Golden City are the places with the most narrative and just like depth of things that you can do. Not like more narrative depth in the Golden City than actual content depth that you can do, but it's a smaller area by far.
So I was like really into Caelid. I do like, when I first got there, I was like, I messaged Mitch and I'm like, is this hell?
Yeah, no, it feels like it, and it's kind of the point, like, in that final battle between Millennia and Radahn, like, she didn't want to, I don't think, use her curse, the what was it, the rot.
Yeah,
but it was kind of like a last ditch effort to solve that conflict, and ends up completely just screwing over Caelid as an entire area.
Did you fought her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I enjoy that fight a lot more than I enjoy the last boss.
Oh yeah, the Elden Beast is just kind of a really, to me, as far as like, it is the most boring of fights in a Dark Souls game. Like,
I think him and Radagon are both very boring.
Yeah.
It was disappointing.
But that's I feel like in a lot, like, I mean, Bloodborne is not as much this way, and neither is Dark Souls 2. And it seems like 3, Dark Souls 1, and this, they kind of start to waver on creativity as you get to the end game.
Yeah, it's like they kind of had to find an ending.
Yeah, they I feel like FromSoft is not always the greatest on sticking their landings. Ultimately, like, the stories can have an interesting sort of like twist, but they're never as good as the lead up to it is.
See, like, the ending is kind of a twist, but it's like, it's a twist about like 2 people we hardly hear about very much. Like, we hear about them, but it's not like active participation in the world. They're more like kind of mythical. I think that's intentional, but it kind of makes the story not have as much impact.
I think my favorite area is probably either going to be Limgrave or it's between Caelid and fucking the capital. The capital is so hard for me because those fucking knights. But like, when you first get there,
well, see, that's your problem. You're supposed to fight the knights, not fuck them. So that's on you.
No, I run from
them.
They try to fuck
anuses.
Me. I run from them because they try to fuck me, and then I land in the sewers, and then the rats get to me in the hands, and everything else just comes at me. But I don't know. I just really liked exploring that area. Like, whenever you first walk in, you look to your left, shitload of snowmen with horns. It's like, all right, this place is really quiet for a bunch of things, like just blowing horns, and it's like eerie. It's like this eerie feeling just going through it. I don't know why.
It's kind of like a ghost city essentially, and
Yeah.
like one of the first things I remember running into in like the actual city proper were like zombies, and
Right.
those what are they called? Al something. Albinurks, yeah. Those things freak me the fuck out.
Have you
Like,
found the Albinuric helm yet?
I don't think. Oh yeah, I did. See,
that thing is funny.
That's weird. I wouldn't have connected those two creatures as the same. Well, they're like second generation or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like, why do their legs work? Well, it's yeah. Like, why is your first attempt like completely crippled and your second attempt is doing like motherfucking cartwheels?
Right. You're talking about like the
Well, they had
frog
to go
dudes,
from
right?
being humanoid, like more human, and apparently their human forms are very weak when it comes to legs. And then they interbred with fish people, and now you have fish people with legs, and they're like, oh, I'm used to the water, so above water with legs, I can now do cartwheels. What's up?
You're talking about like the same things that are at the chicken farming spot, right?
Yeah, those are Albinurics as well. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
they're
didn't
the
know
same thing as those crippled, screaming like what are leeches that chase after you.
Oh, they
Those
are?
things are fucking freaky as hell, man.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, those
Number-
things are.
Going into a dark room and you're
That kind of
like, what the fuck?
that pissed me off because we were playing yesterday, and Mike kept on getting grabbed by him, and I'd sit there and
Mitch would
try and hack and
activate them.
slash them.
They're really tough when they get they're not hard as far as like their actual like they take damage like a sieve, so like they go down quick. But when they grab you, they will take a chunk out of you.
Well, here's the thing. If this dude grabs my boy, why can't I smack him off of it? That part pissed me off because I was like,
Yeah,
why?
that's the thing that a lot of games do in general.
It was funny as shit though, because it's like Mitch would keep going around that corner and then he would like dodge back. I'm like, what's over here? Then I'd get latched onto.
Man, you're throwing your boy under the bus. What's going on?
Well, if I dodge, maybe you should run backwards too.
Well, we're so close, I was just like, what are you dodging from? Ah!
I was the decoy. This is your real snack.
See, it was all part of his diabolical plan.
Like now, where they are.
Dragons are like definitely the worst thing in this game for me. I can't fucking do it.
I love fighting dragons.
can't
They're so
do it.
easy to kill.
I'm so tired of fucking them just taking flight every time I finally get to them to fucking smack them.
Ever since Skyrim, dragons have been completely ruined for me. I'm like, oh, they're gonna fly away and shoot fire at me. Yay.
At least in Skyrim, you can eat a bunch of clams as they're blowing fire at you. So you're like, yeah, that's fine. It's whatever. I have clam power, motherfucker.
Eat a bunch of clams.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
In Skyrim, you can eat like a bunch of foods and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, is there an item in that game that I didn't know about?
No, there's just food like you can find on the beaches, clam shells, and they have clams inside of them you can eat.
Okay, I know. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, all right. I thought you were
it
saying
could,
like there's
it
something
could be
special.
potatoes, tomatoes, whatever you want to eat. I was just using that one.
Yeah, no, I thought there was like some kind of special clam item that made me resistant to like dragon fire or some shit. I was like, what?
I mean,
There is restoration.
There could be. Who knows?
But let's talk about the areas in this game and wrap it up, I guess.
Sure thing.
In order, what we're actually supposed to go to do. It starts in Limgroth.
Yeah, and I would argue that probably Limgrave and the Weeping Peninsula are both technically the same area for the most part. They're just because like there's not a whole lot of physical difference between them.
No, I feel the same way.
Same biome or whatever.
Exactly. Like, yeah.
Oh, we were talking about the bullshit bears earlier.
Yeah, rune bears.
Whenever those frickin' and whenever you first see the giants pulling the wagon, there's this random guy standing around like it's like somewhere from the road. Whenever you see
there are enemies like that all throughout the world that once you attack them, like and you kill them, they turn into another like a mini boss, and when you defeat them, you get a silver tier.
A larval tier, yeah.
Larval tier.
That's the first one you sent me to whenever I needed to respec.
Yep.
See,
we
whenever I
was for that bitch forever.
I was in that sacred snowland before the Hilgen tree or whatever. I'm like, oh, why is this guy sticking out of the snow? That's kind of funny. Is it a glitch? And I read the message by it, and it's like, good luck. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what that means. And I strike it, and like the most big ass fucking leveled up fucking rune bear just spawns out of it, and I get thrown off a cliff. It was terrible.
Yeah, these games are definitely designed to fuck you.
That just scares the shit out of me, because it happens a few times, happens enough times for you to be aware of it, but it's like this will be fine this time, but no, it just turns into black smoke and then transforms into something that's gonna murder you.
Yep.
Right. It's like the same thing with me and Dave. We searched around for that fucking like lowly digger fucking Draugr looking dude that's just on the side of the road, like you said, the one you were talking about. And we're just killing him. We find another one, and we finally hit the right one, and I'm right fucking next to it. Dave smacked it. Dave smacked it and just kept going because like he didn't think about it. Like, we've been smacking him forever, so we're just walking along killing him. He smacks it. I'm walking past it as it turns into the rune bear, and it just straight fucking tackled me. I was just like, fuck! And just started just rolling out of the way. I was like, Dave, kill it! Kill it! Fuck! I love this shit in this game, like the surprises and the attacks. I don't care how many times I die. I'm going to beat the game at some point. It's fine.
Well, and that's the thing, is that all the Souls games are like this. They teach you how to deal with enemies by killing you with them. Like that's that you're supposed to learn from your failures.
Yup. And it's fucking sweet, man. I love that shit. Like,
see, I think I kind of had my experience a little ruined because I got a little lazy because I found like all the churches like immediately, and I found all the flasks like way earlier than I should have, so it made me like kind of lazy and be like, oh, I can just use my flasks. Yeah, there's that, but I do love how this game makes you learn. It's like, deal with this, you have to. If you don't want to deal with it, here's like 5 more.
And like literally, like almost every fucking battle, it doesn't even have to be a boss. The best part about this game, the best fucking part, and Mike will tell you, because we've talked about this a million times, I don't like to play games twice, so I always set it on the hardest mode. So I love hard games. This game doesn't have a fucking difficulty setting. It's just fucking hard. But it's not hard if you like can figure out what you're doing. So the best thing is, whether it be a boss or just a fight with a bunch of enemies or just one hard enemy, every fucking victory feels so fucking like good.
Yeah.
It's that sense of accomplishment. Sorry. Blech. IPA bubbles in my throat. But yeah, it's every sense of it.
This is definitely one of my favorite games. Like, for some reason at the end, I just completely lost motivation. I got most of the things that I found. I finally beat the is it the Everjail that has the black knife ringleader or whatever his name is?
Oh, yeah, I had to cheese that guy.
Dude, I was like, the only way I could take him was if I just straight on fought him and learned how to do it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna bunker down, I'm gonna do this. And he got stuck on like the edge of the cliff. Like there's this little like raise.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he got stuck there and I just walloped him and I was like, oh yeah, okay.
That works.
Yeah.
Did you beat all the Deathbirds, Mike?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I remember my first Deathbird.
Yeah, the hardest one, in my opinion, is the one in the consecrated snowfield.
Yep,
that's the one I ran into and ran away from. I was just trying to go kill this tarnished.
No, you ran into a different one. The consecrated snowfield is before the Hilgen tree or whatever.
Oh, okay.
You're talking the giant one. That one's also fucking bullshit because it's like, I'm gonna go down this place that it has a bunch of tombstones and oh my god, there's giant skeletons.
And then at the end of it, giant Deathbird.
Well, the Deathbird only shows up at night, so if you went there during the day, you wouldn't have had that problem.
Well, the skeletons just show and still.
Well, it looked like daylight to me, but I guess it's Alaska and daytime is night. That's the weird part. It was light out, and I was confused because the original Deathbird, like in Limgrave, whenever you go up to where all those giants are, there, if you go up on those ruins at night, Deathbird drops down on you, and man, I had a fucking shitty time with him whenever I first fucking fought him. That was awful.
I was a prophet, and I mostly used holy throughout like the entirety of my play. So I was like, these are my fucking people that I'm hunting down.
Exactly. Yeah, they're weak. They're weak to holy, so you fucking schooled them.
That's fucking
was that I did like 2,000, and I was like on the very first one that you find in before Stormvale. And I was like, yeah, this is my new mission, is to hunt down these unholy creatures.
So yeah, Limgrave is just like this grassy field. It's your first steps on learning.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's very well designed. It introduces you to so many things that you're going to need to know for the later parts of the game.
Like
you can definitely tell they spent the most time on it as an area.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's not forget about the trick boss in the fucking Limgrave as soon as you start. As soon as you fucking get out there, you look down, tree sentinel.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, this is meant to actually just fuck with you because you think you can beat this thing at the beginning?
I always refer to that guy as the guy with the thick horse.
He does have a thick horse.
Oh yeah. I was like, damn, son.
Well, I mean, do you see how much armor he's wearing? He has to have a thick horse to support that.
Oh yeah.
That's
a monstrous horse. Fucking should have gave that horse to her dad.
If you level yourself up, the trick with that thing is, if you level yourself up to like level 20 and get a Torrent, the horse, like once you get him and everything and you level yourself up to level 20, you can just circle him on your fucking horse and slap him and kill him. That's what I did, and it was easy as fuck. Once I got my horse, it took me 2 tries to fucking beat him. Like, it's not hard, but it's like, it's put there to just be like, hey, you want to try it? Like right at the beginning.
Yeah, I love that because it like it makes it clear that this game is going to put obstacles in front of you that you can't necessarily solve.
Exactly. Yep.
At least not immediately.
Yeah, at least. Yeah. Did you guys ever go back to that was it the grafted scion at the very beginning of the game?
Yes, I was just thinking about that. Yeah.
Belfry, the 4 belfries or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, here we go.
Isn't it fucking horseshit that he gets to hold the sword up in the air and just wait for you to come near him? He's sitting there like that. Like in the middle of one of his combos, if you back off, he'll just hold the sword up and wait for you to come near him.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as you go near him, he'll just fucking slam it down on you unless you like have pinpoint dodging. It's fucking stupid. That was my biggest problem with that.
Well, you don't necessarily need pinpoint dodging. Like one thing that helps, I think, especially in Souls games in general, is learning the best dodge methods. Like 9 times out of 10, dodging away from an attack is not the way to go. Dodging into the attack is the way to go.
Right, and I thought the same way whenever I played this game. I was like, why not let's just roll out of the way, and it didn't work. And then all the way up until Caelid, I figured out a way to just jump. I didn't dodge for a very long time. I would jump over the attacks.
Which is actually also a viable strategy. Like, since they added the jump in this game, which is something we haven't talked about, really, because it's the first one in the series that's had this as a off-the-bat, easy-to-use sort of function. Like, that the jump is... Like, there are specific attacks that require you to jump, especially, like, attacks that hit the ground and have, like, a wave outward.
Yeah, dodging them did not help very much.
Yeah, you have to jump over them.
Yeah, but then dodging into attacks is like a fucking... Why would you want to dodge
It's
into
counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Well, it's because
it's like a mind flip thing. It's weird.
Well, it's also one of those things that most people don't think about in games, but like any dodge, like it's much more easily... It comes to you easier if you were really into games like the Devil May Cry series, where like dodging in those games have a thing called iframes, invincibility frames.
Yeah.
So if you've mastered a game like that, you already kind of have the idea of the iframe, and the iframes are kind of like, as from a perspective of the Dark Souls series as a dodging enemy attacks, that is like the key to understanding how to do it.
See, my experience with these like action fighting, or I don't really know how to
action RPG.
Like the first type of game that I played that's kind of like really hard like this. Well, the thing is that it's not an RPG. Ninja Gaiden. Like my Ninja Gaiden instincts like kick in for a lot of this game, and it's like very detrimental to my life.
Well, it's the same way if you're like I'm a huge fan of all of the Souls games for the most part, but like you have to completely unlearn what you've learned if you want to try and do Sekiro. Like that game is completely different.
You have to parry everything, don't you?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I want to play Sekiro, because I want to see like the true hardness from what I've heard about Souls games. I heard Sekiro is probably like the hardest.
Yeah, I would agree. I'll admit, like I've beaten all the Souls games. I've never beaten Sekiro. I bounced off of that game, and it didn't feel like it was for me. Other than the fact that like I really like Japan and I like that setting. Oh, yeah. But like, one of these days I'll probably go back and I'll probably get it eventually. But
right. Did you play Neo?
Yeah.
See, both of them. I spent half of the first game with the the sickle and chain, and I faced something that I just could not deal with, so I just forgot about the game. I eventually started over and just did like Katana, and I loved it so much more. I had so much more fun. The one-on-one fights beat the living shit out of me, though.
Yeah,
they were absolutely atrociously fucking difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have Souls games experience except for this one. What I did learn though is dodging into attacks. If you play Kingdom Hearts and you use the dodge mechanic, you should dodge into attacks.
Yeah.
Because a lot of like bosses will fuck you up in expert mode or proud mode or whatever the fuck you do, or critical mode for the new Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3, when it added critical mode to it, is fucking insanely hard. Like, I thought I could do it. And you can only unlock it after beating the game. So I beat the game, and it essentially resets your save. It makes it critical mode. Yeah, dude, now. No. That game is so fucking hard in critical mode to me. Like, at the very beginning, like, 3 hits will kill you. And the very first fight that you do, you're fighting, like, 9 dudes at once. It's in Hercules world. And it's just like, fuck, dodge, slide around, hurry up, get the fuck out of the way. And no. Because they're also shooting fire and shit at you, too.
Jeez.
You never played KH3? Dave?
What?
You never played KH3?
No, I kind of, I love the first 2 games. And then after so many of them came out on systems I didn't have access to, the story just kind of got past me to the point where, like, I was like, I don't even know if I could get into Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't know if I would understand anything that's happening anymore.
I do not. I don't, but I just love the series. I just played the mainline games mainly. But, like, you can buy the collection, the entire collection on PS4 and PS5.
Oh, cool.
All in one box. I bought Mike the one because he fucking hates Kingdom Hearts, and I want him to try it so bad. He's just like, I hate Disney. I don't want to do it.
See, how do you appreciate Final Fantasy games if you're like, oh, I don't want to get back in Kingdom Hearts because I don't know what's going on?
Well, basically everything that I don't know that's going on, like, it's part of the main story. But it kind of tells you.
Every Final Fantasy is different, so you're starting over every time. So it doesn't really
but I mean, like, Final Fantasy always has this, like, bombastic story where it's just like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen. What's the craziest thing that could happen? Like, I'm pretty sure Kingdom Hearts follows that same formula.
Well, yeah, that's because it's what's his face?
Yeah.
Kamiya, right?
No, it's fuck, Nomura, right?
Oh yeah, Nomura, yeah.
Yeah. Nomura does some weird shit.
The belt designer guy.
Yeah, he just
put a belt. He's like a hipster, but instead of put a bird on it, it's put a belt on it.
Yeah, he just does some fucking crazy ass shit. He just throws out ideas and does them because he can, and it's up to the audience to like it or not.
I mean, that's kind of why Kingdom Hearts. Final Fantasy 15 was kind of a development disaster, was because he started one thing, got taken off the project, came back, and his stuff was so over the top that they ended up putting him specifically on Kingdom Hearts solely, and they put it on a new director. And so there's like 3 different, ideas.
Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing with each other's ideas.
Yeah.
But like overall, Final Fantasy 15's like actual story is really fucking good. In my opinion.
I really loved the story. The gameplay, I thought, it's a little scatterbrain.
Yeah, it's weird. It works if you can figure it out. But it's not the easiest thing to learn.
And and I feel like, especially with as pretty as the game is, it was frustrating how few assets they built for like NPCs.
Dude, the go fetch quests. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But like the mainline story, and then the DLCs are pretty deep in too, because you get backstories on like
all the party.
Yeah, and like I didn't listen.
I mean, eventually
Rich's.
I will get back into Kingdom Hearts, but I just one of these days I just need to go through and just like watch like a 3-4 hour long lore video.
Yeah, that's kind of like my plan too, because I heard that.
Which I don't mind. I will sit all day and just watch lore videos. Like was it 4 or 5 years ago? I would like. There's 3 or 4 different Bloodborne YouTubers. I would just like watch all of their 4 or 5 hour long, deep dives into the mechanics and the lore and the everything. So.
Right, like Whenever I first started the job where I'm at right now, I swept the plant because I started at like a slow time. I swept the plant for like 8 to 10 hours a day one week, and I was like, let's learn everything about Elder Scrolls. And man,
Ooh,
that got me through the whole fucking week.
That sounds actually pretty fun. I recently just went through a guy's deep dive into Daggerfall, and I was like, man, that game sounds really fun.
Yeah, Daggerfall has
with
the
the
largest
mods.
map of any fucking video game ever created.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
But it's also very empty.
Since you guys were talking about the the D&D-esque stuff earlier, is Dave happen to be the person that you tell me that is also into Warhammer?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like 2 years of my life watching lore videos on that shit.
Oh, me too. I love Warhammer lore. It's bonkers. That stuff is just insane.
Yeah. Was it my favorite story?
Speaking of Warhammer, have you seen the new trailer for Bolter?
What is that?
So, okay, when I saw the trailer, I thought it was genius. It's a video game that's coming out.
Yeah.
But I thought it was genius, but I was also irritated that it took them this long to do this. Like, this should have been done, honestly, in the 90s, to be completely honest. But it is a retro Doom-style shooter, and I mean that, like, and they did it in the full, like, it's using 3D assets, but the presentation of it is like the 64-bit Doom.
Oh, the 2D hybrid shit.
Yes, exactly. And it's and you play a space marine running through a bunch of levels with your bolter gun and just fucking up, chaos shit. And it looks amazing. Like I was watching it, I was like, it looks pretty, and but as soon as the trailer ended, I was a little bit angry because I was like, it is fucking 2022. Why did it take them this long to do this?
Right.
This sounds like it should have been a no-brainer. Like, this could have been done, honestly, at near this quality in the early 2000s. Like, this is stupid.
It's kind of funny. I love Warhammer games, like video games, but every time I play one, I'm like, oh yeah, what cool enemy are we fighting against? And it's like, oh, it's little fucking cute nurglings. I don't want to hurt the nurglings. And then you have to fight Skaven.
Skavens, yeah. My two favorite factions, Skaven and Nurgle.
Yeah, it's like, why are you doing this to me? But I entirely understand why.
To be fair, they are the most nefarious, but also, Nurgle is the only god that really loves you.
Yeah. He wants to spread his gifts of plague to you.
I mean, you'll live forever. You will feel no pain. You'll just be rotting. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's big bloated pus sack.
Yeah.
I'm ugly, but I'm nice.
Pretty much.
Because how the games are set up, though, like, what other enemy would you pick, though? It's like orcs, Nurgle, or was it the Plague Bearers, and was Skaven or
Skaven?
Skaven. Those are like the most like in tune with like gaming mechanics enemies that you would ever fight.
But that's what's also frustrating, though, is that there's so many just variety out there in that universe. Like, I mean, you could be fighting the Tau Empire. You could be fighting the Drakari and the Space Elves.
Your game could go up a few ratings and be Slaanesh.
Yeah, that would be fucking dope.
I want to do the figures and actually paint them, but I want to do Thousand Suns, and they're like insanely fucking like intricate, it seems, with all the colors and shit.
As somebody who quasi-professionally paints miniatures, they're not hard. You could do it. And now that Citadel does the contrast paints, which makes painting even quicker if you're not really worried about super detail, You could put them together to play just some games quickly if you needed to.
Well, that's
the issue is always going to be with that. Is that an expense you want to start getting into? Because once you start getting into it, it's really hard to get out, and it is a deep pocket expense.
Well, here's the thing.
It's
My boss
plastic
is like,
crack.
yeah,
Yep.
my boss is like, I think he's 56 now, and he knows that I love video games and I do these podcasts and shit. We went to like Dead and Company show before at Hershey Park in PA, and like uh, we know enough about each other. But he's like,
And I think the funniest, sorry to interrupt, but real quick, the funniest thing is like, hey boss, you should watch our show. Like, first show after you do that. Dude, I hate my fucking job.
wait, what?
Like, was it you told me that you told everybody at where you work that you have a podcast, and then like the first episode we did after you told me that, you were just like, "Oh, dude, I fucking hate my job."
Oh,
Going off on it. I was like,
oh no, because
that's
that's
a
when
great
all the fucking
introduction.
dude, everything before that was so fucking nice, and then like when we did that show, that's when at my job everything started going downhill for me, and I was so fucking pissed off. And I remember I walked into the office. I got called into the office one time, and I came in, and my boss looks at me in front of in front of the other supervisors, and then he just hits play. And and I was like, it wasn't the first episode. It was the Yoshi story episode from N64.
No, I mean it was the first episode after you told them.
No, I know what you're talking about. But the first time he ever listened to the show was at this point. I get called into the office. He turns around and looks at me. Everybody else turns to look at me. He's like, hey, I wanted to show you something. And he hit play. And you know how I do the music from the games, like at the intro and at the outro? Like from the game? It's the Yoshi Story fucking theme song. La, 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 just blaring out of the office at like max sound. And I was like, what the fuck? And they're all just like, so this is your show, huh? I was like, you picked literally the worst fucking episode to kick something off with on this one, because it's Yoshi music. It's like nya, 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 nya. It's like in front of everybody.
Something like fell through or something, and we're like, which is like, we gotta do an episode real quick. I'm like, okay, I'm down for that. It's like, pick a game, I'm like, Yoshi's Story.
Then I was like, all right, I'm gonna come get you. I picked them up. We got real fucked up and just played Yoshi's Story. I fall asleep at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I wake up at like 8 and he's still playing.
Wow.
He loves that fucking game. I love that game too, but like I was too fucked up. So, and I never beat it the way he beat it. I didn't know that there was like 24 fucking levels. I just thought you played through through it as the story goes, but no, there's like 4 fucking levels per fucking chapter.
Of all of my childhood trauma, Yoshi's Story is the most pleasant.
It's not Star Fox 64.
Well, I just love Star Fox so much, and I got good at. I got good at that.
Well, yeah, didn't you say you beat it every day before school?
Every day before high school.
It's ridiculous.
So I would go to school and like tired as fuck because I slept like 1 hour every day for high school. And I'd come in and be like, "You're good, but I'm butter." Say all the fucking Star Wolf quotes.
Do a barrel roll. But yeah, dude, that was a weird time. Like, as soon as we started this podcast, my actual job went downhill. I went from making a fucking assload of money to making this normal money, and I was just not fucking happy. I was not happy. But luckily, before that did happen, I was able to apply for like, because I wanted to get married, so I wanted to get Casey a really nice ring, so I applied. And I gave him my last 3 pay stubs, and they're like, "Here's your black card, sir." And I was like, after all this happened, I was like, "Thank God I fucking did that before this happened," or like, I would not be able to afford like the things for this wedding that I wanted to afford. And like, I was so stressed out because I had also just got a brand new car as well. So now I have a ring payment and a car payment, and like I had to figure out what to do, and then I learned how to budget from that, and then it started not getting so bad, and it's still like shitty, but like my partner at work now, he's like the new partner I have, he's just like this slow fucking idiot. Like he's not an idiot,
So nice.
he hasn't gotten good yet, and he also doesn't care about getting good either. So, and I don't care if he does, because, and it's like, I straight up told my supervisors, you do realize that giving me him, you have made my life 10 times easier, because now walking in here every day, it's like getting a free paycheck for not doing shit.
I would
like,
look
I know, but we need welders. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I don't care.
I would look at the bill for the ring in the car and be like, I hope this ring gets me more mileage.
Oh, no. I'll just put it to you this way. The ring and the car payment combined is $550 a month. So I had to go from making around clearing like $1,000 a week to making like, at that time when I went back down, I was making like $560 a week from 1,000. So it almost chopped my entire like weekly paycheck in half.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because the position I was in the partner I had, he was just so experienced. He had been there for 12 years, and I just got good with him. He taught me how to do it, and then like like me and him were friends, and I knew he was having kids, and like he was my boy. I wasn't letting him down, and I was his boy. He ain't letting me down. So we just worked our asses off, and I got the position, and that's how that happened. And then I don't know what the fuck happened, man, but we fell apart, and we're still friends today. But it just didn't work out, and that's okay. But damn, I got fucked. Like, I got fucked. He didn't. So, I mean, it's whatever. But yeah, that's why I was so like pissed off at that time. It's just like my whole world just kind of shattered at that point.
It's just so funny.
It sucked, man. It fucking sucks. Like,
if you were me in that moment where it's like, I just heard about you telling like all the people in your office, I'm like, okay, I gotta, I don't know, gotta try a little harder. People I know are actually like doing this shit. You know, I'm like psyching myself up. I'm like, I could do it. And Mitch is like, dude, I fucking hate these bastards. I'm like, oh.
I told our plant owner one time, because he found out I had a podcast or whatever, and he was like, what's the name of it? My son's into that. And I was like, it's called the Tatter Couch Podcast. You can find us on Apple, iTunes, and Spotify, and some random thing called like
plug.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of shit. And like, I was like, don't be offended if you hear that, like, every once in a while I'll be like, because the other part owner, me and him used to be cool until this time period that I was just talking about. He just randomly turned against me, it seemed like. He goes, or no, I go, don't be weirded out by it, because sometimes I go, Mike's kind of a cunt sometimes, and I say that on my show when I'm bitching about shit. He just started busting up laughing, because, like, I don't know, our part owner is a very serious person, and, like, the actual owner and the other co-owner are, like, fun and cool about shit. This dude's, like, part owner and plant manager, so I get the stress. And I know the people I work with, so I definitely get the stress. But, like, everybody has bad days, man. We can't be, like, pissy at people all the time because we have a bad day. Like, it's okay. Your whole company's not going to fall apart. Get the stick out of your ass and chill. Like, we're fine. We're still here. We have half the welders we had when I started, and we're still fine. So it's like, just chill out, man. That's all I ever tried to tell the dude. And he's like, everybody needs to be serious.
See, dude, whenever I fought Melania, I literally and metaphorically kicked the dog. Every time.
Anyway, after this long tangent, let's get on to the next area. Leirunia?
Yeah, we gotta tie this up soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, well, you can leave whatever you need if you need to, Dave. We tend to meander on.
Yeah.
Especially when I get drunker.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, let's go to Leirunia. It's a giant fucking swamp with some like fish frog people, and there's an academy and a dragon in it.
That was the first dragon I ever killed.
That was the first dragon I ever saw, and it one-shotted me. The second dragon I ever saw and encountered, and it one-shotted me, so that was fun. So, like, the Academy, I do love the Academy, but it brings a whole new level of torture when you're actually going through this game, like, in order the way it's quote-unquote supposed to be.
Yeah, see, I had, I went to the magic place in Caelid first. So, like, I was like, why are people bitching about this? This is kind of not that bad.
Yeah, until you
found
out.
Oh, Stellan City or whatever.
Yeah, secret city. They actually do worse there. Because there's, like, this spell that shoots, like, 3 twirling, like, things at you. That always fucked me up. Killed me, like, most of the time. And I found this little branch, and I was like, oh, I'm safe here. And then one of the dudes teleported behind me and just machine gun spelled me to death.
Yep.
That's in Caelid?
Yeah.
Gnarly.
It's on the other side of the rot swamp.
Caelid's on the other side of the fucking map from where we are.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm excited. I love Caelid.
I do too, and we're about to get to that after this. So, like, the Academy is just, like, a bunch of fucking zombified weirdos and, like, these fucking spellcasters with, like, stone helmet-looking things on, and they just, like, shoot shit at you. And you fight. What's her face? What's her name?
Crap, why have I blanked on it?
Because Ronnie's name's like really close to hers. Renala,
that's it, yeah.
And she's really not that bad. I mean,
she beat the fuck out of me. Like,
so I think she's one of the easiest bosses in the entire game.
Yeah, definitely. And also, you know what helps? Having a Dave.
I had no intelligence whatsoever. My intelligence was 7, so magic fucked me up to no end.
That sucks.
And her spells would just, like, I would never be able to find an opening because she just kept firing spam spells. And then I would run up at her with my scythe, hit her once, and then she'd jump back. And it's like, oh, I can't reach you again.
Oh, this is one of those other 5-second fights that we had.
Lucky. I always hear people have, like, pretty easy time with her. Like, her first phase for me was even terrible. Like, every time I would kill one of those people, the other one would, like, appear on the other side of the arena, hidden behind some books with some, like, 3 other ones around them.
Yeah, she has a bunch of, like, crawling, like, possessed schoolgirls like trying to eat your fucking ankles essentially and spit fire at you and stuff.
Did you guys find where they spawned?
Yes.
Yeah, they just drop out of the ceiling.
Yeah.
Or out of little ledges in the bookshelves. That was fucking hilarious. Like, no wonder their legs don't work.
And like after you beat her, you can finally respec your character with larval tears as you collect them throughout the games. Caelid is the next place, and that is Dave. Go for it, Mike. Go for it. Explain that shit, cause whoo. I used like the thing where the tiara thing, you put it on your head and you turn yourself into an inanimate object. And I just snuck around the whole place like as like a barrel full of weapons.
Lucky bastard.
I forget where I even got that thing. I think you get it in Stormvale Castle.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. That's with Godric and shit.
Yeah.
But we'll leave that up to the listener. we'll let them figure that out. I don't want to talk about that one to them because it's a learning experience. I learned that you are not supposed to go there first. Like you are supposed to.
I went to Caelid like way first.
Yeah,
I did it before even the Stormvale.
I learned that you're supposed to explore Limgrave a lot more. Like, reading into it, you're supposed to explore, like, Limgrave a shit ton before you go there. No. I just worked my way up through there. It was rough. But, yeah, Caelid. Let's talk about that shit. We got...
the land of mushrooms and blight.
And T-Rex dogs and rot... and giant crows.
Out of all the horrible things there, Commander O'Neill killed me far more.
Still didn't beat that guy. I've been meaning to go back there and kill him.
I hate him. I don't even know why I beat him.
Oh, you're supposed to get that golden needle or something in there?
Oh yeah, I needed that. If you pick the path of the frenzied flame, it cancels all other potential endings out, and you have to get the needle from Millicent or whatever. You have to, and then you have to beat Melania, and you can cancel that out at the flying dragon place, which is kind of insane because I don't know why people would go to that place before they would go to the Hilgen Tree. You know, it's like Hilgen Tree is like extra end game stuff. Why do I gotta beat all of it to do that? But
because it's like the rot place, and that's like her brother, and it's kind of like a story tie-in deal thing.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Dave, did you jump to the? Did you ever get the Furied Flame?
Oh yeah, I love the Frenzy Flame. I think it's a fun.
Yeah, Frenzy Flame. That jump thing is so freaking annoying.
Yeah, getting down there is such a pain.
Yeah, like I did all of the other platforming stuff afterwards, and I was like, this is fucking easy as shit. This is great.
Which actually, it brings up a good point. So they added, because this is in all the games, pretty much, like they have rings that do things. You can find the cat ring, obviously, in this game, like the other ones, which is supposed to negate fall damage, but obviously it never does it if, you fall an amount that would kill you no matter what. But the problem versus like old Souls versus this game is fall damage is much more kind in this than it is in any of the other Souls games.
Unless you're on torrent.
Yeah. But seriously, like, that ring is completely fucking useless. It is the most unuseful ring. Like, if it negated all fall damage to where, like, you could act, that's like the trick of how you get down to places like that,
Yeah. Was it once you get far enough, I think you can fall.
Yeah.
And it'll just fall through. But a trick I found with the fall damage thing is if you drop like a glintstone or a rainbow stone.
Yeah, if it makes a noise, yeah.
Or as if it breaks, then that will kill you. And there's also a thing where you don't have to use any items, or if you just attack at the edge, if the falling off the edge will kill you, you won't fall off the edge.
Oh.
Yeah, you showed me that yesterday with the
That's
glintstone. I didn't know that. Yeah, my favorite part of this entire thing, like besides the boss fight with Radon, I love like the fucking siege on the castle, the impassable bridge.
Yeah.
I walked that. Yeah.
Fuck you.
I couldn't do it with my horse. I'm as impressed with you as you are of me walking as I am of you going with the horse. Every time I use the horse, instant fucking hit with those trebuchets.
Oh, definitely.
It's
So here's
terrible.
what you do. You get right back up, hit a health potion, hit the ring real fast, and then just fucking dart. And you just keep fucking going, and then that fucking giant drops down out of the fucking sky.
That's so much trouble with that.
Yeah, and then it's like, how the fuck do I get in here? You go off to the right and just fucking keep platforming and fighting those vampire things.
Oh, the bats, yeah.
Yeah. But the worst part was, like, sneaking through the castle, those lions and shit. Like, I had to get through them. And then I get to the boss room, and it's the misbegotten warrior and a carrion knight at the same time.
Dude, Crucible Knights are the fucking worst in this game.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. If you do Ronnie's quest, it X's that boss fight out, and it's just the festival. And you just go in there and you talk to everybody, and everybody's like, all right, let's go kill Radon. And then
See, I didn't have that fight. And then after I beat Radon, I never went back to the castle before, and I just recently went back there, and I found that. And
Yeah.
you get a legendary weapon, the Ruined Greatsword.
Yep.
Yeah.
What, for doing what? Fighting those two?
Yeah.
Oh, there's the boss room, like, just changes back to those two then?
Oh, yeah, after the festival's over, it goes back.
Oh, I didn't know that. Nice. Okay, I might go give that a try.
Yeah, good. Have fun dying a few times.
Oh, dude, I've died plenty of times too.
See, I already beat the game at that point, so I fucking murdered them. But before it gets too late, I wanted to make sure that we all at least talk about our favorite boss fights. Mine was big old gnarled stick man in all of his forms. Fighting him at the very beginning of the game, I loved that.
Oh,
fighting
Margaret.
him in the battlefield, I loved fighting him in the battlefield. I loved the end where his fucking shit turns into a giant sword and he's like, come on.
He's not the same dude.
He is. He just has a different name.
That's his dad.
I'm pretty sure it's the same person.
Dave, didn't you tell me that was his dad?
Yeah, it's his father.
I thought they were all the same people.
I
He
thought
just
they were
too.
They have similar fighting styles, though, so, I mean...
Yeah, they're the same without a difference. Or the different people without a difference. What was you guys's?
I really liked Radon's fight. I just did. I liked it a lot. The whole 5 seconds. It's just like the story surrounding it was what made it so great.
Yeah, I like the story, but that's all. I was so like hyped because I thought that dude looked so cool. That it's like, oh, he's riding this tiny horse. He doesn't have any feet. I don't know. Something about it just ruined like a lot of the experience for me with him.
I really liked Morgan's dad though. Like the end fight you were talking about, I liked fighting him, and I honestly did like fighting Godric, even though he beat me to a pulp so many fucking times.
Yeah. What about you, Dave?
I think my favorite boss is probably... I think it has to be the fire giant.
So good.
I really enjoy that fight. I think it's so much fun. I like how big it is, how epic it is, even with it being a two-part boss battle. It's just
See, I thought he was like lame, gimmicky boss at first, but then his second phase came up and he had like a fucking face on his chest and ripped his fucking leg off because it
yeah.
fucking inconvenienced him. I was like, yeah. I heard that this is kind of a gimmick in the Dark Souls shit, but I still fucking love that shit. That's so badass. Doesn't
Well,
make any
I
fucking
mean,
sense.
he's not as much a gimmick fight as some of the
No,
others.
I
Like,
mean the rip leg off shit, where like
yeah,
a lot of people rip their body parts off in these games and tried to beat you to death with them.
yeah, that is true.
Well, it's like Godric is your first like main big rune fight guy, and you fucking
I
smack
love
him,
his fight too.
and he shoves his arm into a dragon and just
Yeah.
makes it a part of him. I was like, oh, this game's gonna be hard, isn't it? That's how I felt whenever I saw that. I was like, fuck, what's next after
So
him?
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Caelid is just Scarlet Rot and death and full of secrets, and it's pretty fucking eerie. Um,
Then you have the Atlas Plateau, which is probably one of my second favorite maybe areas in the game, mostly just because Domina Windmill Village is just so cool.
I love how it looks, and I love the worm faces.
Yeah.
the Atlas Plateau, I didn't really explore that much, honestly. I just went straight for the capital after Caelid.
Yeah, it seems more of like a transitional area to
Like,
where it's like this is where the game starts to get more serious than it ever has been.
this is
Yeah.
Limgrave 2.0.
I mean, it's a pretty extensive area too, because it has the Poison Castle. It leads directly into the Golden City. It has Volcano Manor and Mount Gelmir.
Yeah, Mount Gelmir is fun. I like that
Yeah.
area a lot.
Well,
I was
technically,
su-
that area is still part of the Atlas Plateau, so.
Oh, all right. Well, there you
I
go.
was surprised at how like madness is sprinkled into the game.
Yeah.
Like whenever I first like I thought it would just be like some weird like offshoot and like maybe you see some shit, especially because how like a lot of the quest line was played out. It didn't really seem like you did that much, and madness only applied to this specific thing. But then you go into like Glitmount or whatever, and there's the Capital Knights, and they're like, you know,
They've all
they're
been
zealous
infected.
suits. Yeah, they're eating the flesh of dead people, and I'm like, oh. And then there's a giant with madness, and he starts using flame or the frenzied flame on you, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole area was pretty fun. The Volcano Manor, love it. Ride cars in there. You got to fight a giant snake with a face and a sword.
I didn't see the face until the second phase, but he flipped up, and I went, what is that?
Yeah.
No, we can become the God Slayer.
There's also a secondary boss in that area too. Because there's a mini dungeon in there.
The magma thing.
Well, yeah, there is the magma worm, but there also is the at the very end of the Volcano Manor underground area. There is two of the living Iron Maidens.
Is that the one that takes you to the like area or whatever?
No, the one that actually takes you to Mount Gilmere is at the very bottom of the academy in Liurnia.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, so you go from there and you go into the capital, and that starts out with a weird fight with Morgott in the battlefield.
Yeah.
You got to fight him, and you can do it on your horse now, and he's just like a pussy now, apparently. He's pretty easy. There, anyway. Yeah, so you got to, like, go through the capital and the sewers hold like a shitload of secrets. Um, a lot of things there focus on electric, like lightning energy or lightning.
Well, yeah, because they're all the knights learned all that from that giant corpse of the dragon.
Oh, really? Is that the lore to it?
I think so. It has the lightning has something to do with the dragons because the dragons can use that orange lightning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then you got the snowmen dude with the horns, and they shoot bubbles at you.
Yeah.
Those dudes are fun. Yeah, it's a pretty fun area. It's just very hard if you don't get it, I guess. I don't know. It was hard for me. I don't know. How about you guys?
It was not too bad for me, honestly.
It was bad for me because of like fighting, like Rich said, 2 nights at once.
I just dropped a gallon of urine. What were you guys talking about?
What?
You went to the toilet.
Yes.
Okay.
After tying my peen in a knot.
Nice.
What were you guys talking about?
The capital. How hard was the capital for you?
See, my thing with the capital was like I was so into doing the Frenzied Flame that's the only reason why I went to the capital in the first place. Like I ran through the plateau at the beginning. And then I got stuck by that guy that guards the gate. He fucked me up forever. But my capital experience is mostly spent in the sewers getting wrecked by runes.
Yeah, that was the
omens.
same thing.
Yeah, the fell omens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with those, but most of my time was also in the sewers, and I had a problem with the hands.
I would run past those motherfuckers, like dodging all the way. And like out of nowhere, as I'm like, I think I'm clear, I get hit by flame in the back. I'm like, okay, thanks.
Yeah, I just killed them. They're easy.
I got there pretty early. I was like,
well,
level 40 maybe.
When you're doing hemorrhage damage, it doesn't really matter.
I just stuck to my incantations. And, like, I have no idea how this game has, like, optimized stuff. So I probably have, like, my stats are all over the place where they should be.
Yeah. I will say that's one thing. I think I really enjoy the balance of the game, but I do think that hemorrhage is kind of broken in that game.
I always hear that. But I was using the only weapon I really used very much that had bleed was the Halo Scythe. And I didn't get enough hits on most enemies before they died for bleed to ever take effect. So
for a majority of the game, I was using twin Reduvias. Those little daggers.
Oh, okay.
Because like I was playing like a rogue, so like I gotta get close, but I'm doing a bunch of hits and staggering at the same time, and you do so much that like you're whittling health, and then you're getting a huge boof whenever the hemorrhage meter procs. So
see, a lot of the weapons that I like didn't affect poise very well. Like the coded sword is badass because it goes right through people's guards. But then they can still counter you just as effectively by just whooping your ass afterwards because your weapon does not affect their like stamina or their poise whatsoever.
Yeah.
Purely magic damage weapon it's cool, but it's
not optimized. That's
yeah.
Yeah, and then so like after the capital, you go through the Forbidden Lands briefly because that's one area that's just kind of like an interstitial to get to.
I didn't like the Forbidden Lands too much. Ended up falling off a cliff like all the time.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Same thing with the Snowland. It's that little spot,
the transition area to get to
giant land.
Yeah, the Mountain of the Giants.
Oh, the underground space place, right?
It's like
No,
all
by the
foggy
lift.
and it's got the little midget dudes that beat your ass straight out.
Oh shit, yeah, that actually reminds me. We haven't even talked at all about the underground areas of the game. Shit.
Oh, this game's fucking enormous.
Yeah.
I mentioned the Grand Cloister earlier.
Yeah, there's four main underground areas, and then after Mountaintop of the Giants, and then it transports you after you've done the flame thing to the last major area in the game, which is Crumbling Farah Missoula.
Yeah.
I got to that place first with the belfries that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I mean, you can get there with the belfries, but you can't go very far. It's a interstitial area that's not really connected to anything.
Yeah, I thought it was like a fucking secret to the end of the game. And
no, it's mostly a hey, check this out. You'll get to go here later kind of thing.
You get the was it the pearl pendant or whatever that negates all non-physical damage or like lessens it. I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty helpful.
I found like a 2+1. That is fantastic.
And actually, the grand lift that takes you to the Forbidden Lands, I think, there's a secret area in there that gets you to the consecrated snowfield, which takes you to the Halig Tree.
The secret medallion.
Yeah.
Castle Soul. That was an interesting place. You get to fight another version of Commander Commander O'Neill.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get two pieces. One's from like in the southern part of the area. What is it still technically Limgrave, where you help that quote unquote lord like?
Oh, that's a different pendant. That's the rolled.
I don't even know what that is.
That's for the first lift to get to the plateau.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
I found it so early. I don't remember even picking it up. The only thing memorable to me about getting the first part of the secret pendant was like as soon as you get back to the round table, the night dude attacks you.
Yeah.
You get his cool armor.
Which I think is funny because like I'm at the end game on my second playthrough now with my current character, and I guess I haven't found that pendant because like he's not attacked me yet, and I'm like, this is weird. I didn't realize that's what started him to attack you.
You get a cool gesture from him too.
Oh yeah, no, I've gotten all that in my first playthrough. I'm just saying that like for whatever reason, I guess I hadn't found that one item yet. Because I'm not
funny as shit, dude. If you get that, dude, I don't even know. He's got like the Triforce of Courage if he challenges you at that point.
Yeah, for real. He's gonna get fucking wrecked.
Yeah, and that brings me like what you just said. I was just thinking when you get to the Land of the Giants or whatever the fuck in that snow place, eventually you'll run up on an invader that drops rivers of blood, which is key for a blood build, I would say, personally, from my experience. And I picked it up, and Dave was like, "Now you got your rivers of blood up." And I was sitting there thinking to myself, now you can, since you've played through this a couple times, you could drop me a rivers of blood, right? And he was like, "I'm already doing it." And then picking up my second rivers of blood for the dual wield gave me the same feeling as in a Zelda game when you pull the Master Sword out of the pedestal. I was like, this is gonna be it. Finally.
See, that dude ties into the Frenzied Flame, I think. I didn't do the quest for it, but it's him or some other person that you're supposed to fight him with or whatever. That you can also he also helps you fight the guy outside of Patch's cave. He tells you that there is another way to burn the thorns from the Ern tree.
Yeah, you have to set yourself on fire.
Yeah, which was interesting. Like, because I heard everybody talks about this game, most people haven't done the frenzied flame. And whenever you go to the big chalice thing, which I might have died jumping into it a few times.
Yeah, it doesn't signpost where you're supposed to go at first.
Yeah. And was it what your ring maiden or whatever is supposed to come up and like take the flame or whatever.
Yeah.
But whenever you do frenzied flame, you're just like, listen to the flame. And you like sit there and hear this fucking like ominous horrific music and then fall into the big ass chalice. I'm like, yes. I knew I picked the right way at that point.
Yeah, and you get to fight the fire giant up here. That's pretty fun. Most people will have a hard time, from what I've experienced anyway.
I wandered into the area. I just like, oh hey, I'm walking across this chain like I did earlier. It's just like you get your ass kicked.
Yeah,
he is so huge. It's insane how huge of an enemy he is, and that this game can deal with like his movement at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like you said when he tears off his leg during the second phase and he just like screams. I was like, this is fucking awesome. It gave me almost the same feeling as like whenever what was it?
What did he do with his leg? He rips it off and then what happens to it?
He uses it as a club.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that part. I was like, where did his leg go? Did he just throw it over the cliff?
When that dude in Caelid, before you fight Radon, he like gives you the backstory on him and everything, kinda, and he's just like, he's still down there, howling at the stars, and that like gave me chills. And then whenever I watched this shit happen, I was like, I love this fucking game.
Yeah.
I just looked at it, I was like, this is a good game. What's after the fire giant? I forget.
You're able to basically burn the thorns, and that's when.
What's your maiden's name? What's
Melina.
Yeah, Helena pops up and just, for me anyway, popped up and started fucking burning up the Erd tree. Or whatever the fuck it's called. Is that called the Erd tree, right?
Yeah. Burn thorns.
Yeah.
And kind of Erd tree.
And then it was like weird for me because I went to a different round table hold than I used to be. And it was all burnt up and some of the people were dead in it.
Well, that's just what happens after you burn the Erd tree. Because the round table hold is basically in like a liminal space. It's like a liminal dimension that is basically built by the Erd tree itself.
It's like perpetuate the cycle, like how Gwen was doing in the original Dark Souls, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Learning the lore about the other games made me be like, oh, this is like a cyclical story. Like, you're in the dream kind of shit. And I'm like, I want to end the dream.
That's basically all. Every Souls game is a cyclical story.
Pretty neat. That's like George Lucas theory.
Yeah. Which he took his from Joseph Campbell's Hero's Journey.
Oh, yeah. Well, like most people have taken their inspiration from that, even without knowing it.
True. Well, I mean, all that Joseph Campbell did was take the basic tenets of major storytelling throughout the world and codify it into a system.
Yeah, he explained a philosophy that was pre-existent.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard that this game was a direct sequel to Dark Souls 3. Is that true?
Well, nothing's been really confirmed about anything. If anything, it's a prequel to the Souls series in general. And that's the theory that I think is closest to probably the truth is that one. Because like the different endings would be like leading into the different Souls games. Like,
well, doesn't the Dragon Knight kind of remind you of Godric? Like at the end of Dark Souls 3, that DLC they came out with.
Wait, which are you talking about
the Dragon King or whatever? He flies around on a fucking skeletal dragon.
Oh, you're talking about the
Godwin's son or whatever.
The nameless king.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't he kind of remind you of Godric though?
Kinda.
If you look at him, that's what my whole thought has always been. Ever since I heard that it was a direct sequel, I'm like, I've never played that game, but I've watched that fight, and I was like, huh. Kinda. And then the fact that fucking Godric has a fucking dead dragon, like, in his hold or whatever the fuck.
See, from the visuals, I thought of like, was it Radahn? Because of like how his helmet is, it has that hair coming out. So like, if that was white, that would remind me of the art for the Nameless King.
Well, yeah, but like Godric has that same like long white hair, and he has a fucking crown on his head, just like.
I think that's more artistic flourishes that are similar. I don't think they're the same in any sort of, tangible way.
Fair. After you burn the thorns, you go to, where is it? The crumbling Azamlula, right?
Fire Amazula, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of dragons there. And it's just like this floating place that's this
I have
castle.
not killed any of them.
What, the dragons in there?
Yeah, I did not kill either of them.
I didn't kill either of them either.
Oh, what's that over there?
I ran past.
I love killing all those dragons because that's how you get a lot of the highest tier what's it called?
Smithing stones?
Smithing stones, yeah.
Yeah. There's two hidden in that
You
area.
just get the bell bearings or whatever. Oh, you mean the what is it? The last level of them?
The ancient dragon.
The level
stone.
version. Yeah, the ancient dragon stones.
And the somber ancient dragon ones. I guess if you run past that second dragon down there, there's one behind him, but there's also one to the left in one of the areas as well, and I got that one.
There's also a hidden boss in this area.
Is there?
Yeah, the Dragon Lord.
The fuck is
that?
Yeah,
sure?
Parsanax or Parsanax?
Yeah, this is the only person I haven't fought. I thought the Dragon Lynch was the fucking top dragon. I heard he's a very annoying dragon with the constant thunderstorms and shit.
I don't know. I thought both of them were like not terribly hard.
Yeah, I had to run past that. That's the first dragon that drops down on you in there, right?
No, there's a dragon boss you have to get to. You have to you go down to this like the very most like bottom part of the area, and there's a place where you can like just lay down and it transports you to his boss room.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the first dragon that drops down and does all that lightning, I just ran past him after a few tries. I was like, fuck this shit.
That part of this game makes me think of Sonic, like every time.
I can see that.
It's like the really fast running parts. It looks like one of the runes you'd like run across as you're making like a turn in like was it Sonic Adventure?
Oh yeah.
Damn, I fucking love that game. I originally played it on Dreamcast. Like my neighbors used to like clean out houses, and they found a Dreamcast with Sonic Adventure in it. And dude, I played the fuck out of that thing because I was always at their house all the time anyway, and I was like, "Fuck it, dude, I'm playing this." And I played through it so much I beat it, and then it was like, "Oh, you can beat it as like 5 other characters." I was like, "Nope, nope, not doing that." After this, I don't know what happens because I didn't beat Malekith. I mean, I know what happens, but I didn't experience it.
See, as soon as I beat the fire giant, to me, this was like my Xanarkin moment. Like, this is where I go wherever the fuck I want, and I know I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Right. I feel
So
that.
that's what I did, and I tried to do everything I could possibly think of before I killed um, the last boss. And I thought it was going to immediately put you into New Game Plus, but there's actually, like, gives you a little grace period where you can be like, no, I don't really want to.
Yeah, it allows you to complete any quests that you haven't completed yet.
Yeah.
And honestly, I probably should have not moved on to New Game Plus just because of DLC coming. But at the same time, I wanted to get back into it. But at this point, it's one of those things where like doing that, I kind of burned myself out on the game for a while though too, because I played over 150 hours with my first character, created a new character, and I'm pushing 200 hours on that one.
Shit.
See, I'm only at like 80 something or 80 hours.
I'm closing in on 200.
Jeez.
I was at like 194 when I beat the game. Yeah.
194 hours. I thought you meant level. I was gonna say, didn't you just tell me you're at 150? What the fuck?
Whenever I beat the game, I was 160.
Oh, okay.
What were you, Dave?
When I beat the game, I was 235 or 135.
Okay.
Nice.
There's a lot of things I hear is like, is it 120 to 100, 100 to like 130? It's like the sweet spot for people that are like not new to these games.
I'm level 143.
I would argue, I think honestly, especially on your first playthrough, even if you're used to the games, I think 190 is probably the area you should be to beat the final bosses and complete all the bonus bosses.
All right.
So I lost a lot of runes. So like,
right.
I probably lost millions of runes.
Yeah, true.
Especially at the tree, hill, whatever.
Halic.
The tree with Halic tree. Thank you. Like, I lost so many there, and I lost so many to boss fights. That's another like critique that I have of the game, is that your little thing that tells you the cardinal directions, it disappears when you get into boss rooms, and the map disappears. And they know you're going to fight these bosses over again. So if you were unfortunate enough for your runes to end up on the exact opposite end of the room, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, that is true.
There was so many times I died just being like, where the fuck are my runes? I know I just ran past them, and I gotta get like strafe back to them.
Yeah.
So after this, you fight Godwin the Gold. Who do you fight exactly? The first Elden Lord.
Rodrigon?
Well, you fight Godwin the Golden before you go into the final room where you fight Radagon/Marika.
Yes.
Wait, what do you do? Hold on, what?
you fight Radagon
first Elden Lord, and he fucking
okay.
He fights you just like the Golden Ghost. But then he's like, oh, you did this like badass tagger that I keep on my back. I'm gonna like pull reverse fucking Sigmund Freud and fucking just rip his fucking head off, devour him, and then I'm gonna be, to me, a very less interesting boss. That's ground stomped all over the fucking place, and I was like, this is my excuse for cheesing this game at any point. Fuck. As soon as I seen the repetitive ground stomps, I was nope.
Oh, I didn't find that to be a problem at all, because he focused on my Mimic tier, and I just fucking bled him to death.
People say the Mimic tier is OP in this game. First time I fought Godskin Duo, I do my blessings and I run off a little bit. This is after I summon it. And I look over and they're both just fucking pounding the shit out of it. Like spit roasting the fuck out of this motherfucker. Like it was ridiculous, dude. Like it had a third of its health. Like
well, you have to remember that the mimic tier is only ever going to be as as powered up as how much you've leveled it from the leveling you can do with what's her face, and then it's only as strong as you are as a character and what like loadout you've given it when you summoned it, because it mimics your loadout. So
it's like
if you're going to do a lot of incantations and stuff, and you want it to be more offensive, you should go into the room and summon it with the equipped items you have being like, pretty beefy weapons, and then switch over to your incantation stuff after it's summoned. So then you can do magic and shit, and it can do tanky stuff.
Yeah, that's very true. I kind of had that appreciation going into it, but like every time I wanted to blame my mimic for stuff, I just thought of that drug PSA. I learned it from watching you. It's like, yeah, I can't really expect much. You're supposed to be a spellcaster, and you're, for some reason, never healing yourself, even though you have healing incantations, and you're just headlong charging into this boss.
That's wild. All right, well, let's talk about the Elden Beast, I guess. I know nothing again, but you guys do.
Fucking Miyazaki wannabe.
What?
Princess Mononoke. It's the forest spirit from that movie.
Yeah, except for 1,000 times less interesting.
Yeah, and
that will always be my favorite anime movie ever.
Why the fuck do big ass fucking intimidating as fuck dragons pull out these swords from nowhere that make them just look absolutely ridiculous? It just bugged me. Like every time I seen it happen, I'm like, why does this dragon have a fucking sword? Except for the magma wyvern, which is like kind of cool.
Yeah,
but like
cool.
And then the Elden Beast did the same thing. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Well, you could have just had like a spear that did exactly the same thing, or some magic that it just randomly did that. And this is the part where I ran into very much trouble with my focus. Whenever I would focus on targets, every once in a while, you get the camera flipping to where you don't know where the fuck you are anymore.
Yeah.
Which is kind of expected. But the Elden Beast, it's like if it does certain attacks, they act a certain way based off where it initiated the attack, and then it moves, so you're focused on it, and your movement changes to the boss. So then you can get easily hit by these attacks.
Yeah.
And just the fucking, like, the holy jizz that it just throws all over the fucking screen. That thing that chases you down, that shoots the little things out that just bounce off of you while you're running for your fucking life. Ugh. Accidentally drink a fucking flask while it's doing this holy attack that it kind of sneakily does sometimes, and you just get stabbed to death.
Yeah, and then there's the rings that close in on you.
Oh yeah, there's this big AOE attack, and was it that circle that closes in on you? Because I had to change my perspective so much that would hit me most of the time.
You have to jump over it.
What is it? Whenever I unfocused, it was it was a very weird timing. It was a delayed timing kind of thing, but you could definitely roll underneath of it.
Oh, cool.
But then you have to like just spam roll until you get out of the AoE because you can't outrun it after you do the roll.
Is the fight actually hard, or is it just annoying?
It's annoying.
Yeah, it's really more annoying than hard, honestly.
Radagon, like, he just absolutely sunk my motivation in this game, like, so much. Like, this, if it wasn't for this last boss, I would absolutely love the game. But it's like, oh, Radagon, this, like, mythic, like, figure that you've been painting up a little bit every once in a while. And he is a slow moving guy that does very basic attacks, and he does really weird delayed attacks that have an AoE. Like every time he jumped in the air and smashed his hammer, that always hit me because I would instantly react to the attack.
Yeah.
Oh. And then whenever Mitch is like, "Hey, I said that we're actually doing the show tonight." I'm like, okay, this is the motivation I need. Just fucking, I used ice breath and rot breath in the was it the black knife summon that you can have?
Yeah.
I That's how I beat it.
Dave, how'd you beat it? Blood build.
He actually isn't affected as much by blood, honestly, and neither is the Elden Beast. So that's not really as useful in this fight. So to beat him, I just summoned some friends and just had a good time fighting him with allies.
Nice.
Yeah, what Rich said earlier is probably relevant there. You'd probably have a better time if you weren't like, oh, I'm gonna smash my head into this brick wall a few more times, like I did.
Yeah. It's definitely a final boss of Jolly Cooperation.
So, at the end, you get to pick an ending based on the side quests that you did? Is that what you guys were saying before?
So you can pick any ending that you want based off the side quest you've completed, unless you decided to do the Chaos Flame.
Yes. In my instance, whenever I beat the boss, it just showed like America. Her fucking name messes with me so much. It just sounds like somebody that can't pronounce America.
America!
Merc. But her head just crumbles into ash, and then you fall onto the ground in the fetal position, holding your head. And then you eventually stand back up, and like there's this floating orb of fire in your head, and you just burn everything to ash, except for like the chick that you decided to save, who is now in a completely black hue, and she takes whatever rune you have out of your ashes. But I did achieve my journey of being able to finally achieve destined death. I died so many times. I just wanted to have the final one, and I found.
What ending did you pick, Dave?
I picked Ronnie's ending and got the what's it called? The Land of Night or whatever.
Stars or something.
Yeah.
Well, like, what happens exactly?
Basically, it's kind of like, the world's going to be thrown into eternal night, and she's going to go live on the moon, apparently.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Well.
Which I think, if this ends up being like a prequel to Souls games, maybe that means the next Souls game is going to be on the moon, and it's like a sci-fi.
I don't like it. After this experience, I don't like that sound of that. I'm definitely gonna finish this game up. I've put way too much time in it to not do that. I don't know about New Game Plus. Probably. Should I wait to finish it because of DLC, like you were saying? Maybe I will.
I think that the DLC is going to take a very long period of time, and we might have fallen out with it, and we're probably going to make new characters.
Well, you will. I won't.
Some of... correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, but I heard some of the DLCs... some of it's late game, but there's stuff that you can play like before most of the other story.
It may be. I haven't heard anything about what the DLCs are going to be. So,
well, I mean, based off like past DLC.
Past DLC, yeah. I mean, they've all been stuff that don't necessarily like you can have beaten the game and you'll still have access to them. It's not going to affect anything.
Nice.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know.
The only thing you have to worry, the only thing you'd have to worry about with New Game Plus is that you would be playing against, and you'd be fighting enemies you've never faced before that are going to be doubly powered as to what they would normally be.
That's a good point.
So what do we all? Let's wrap this up. On a scale from 1 to 10, what do you guys think about this game?
I'm gonna give it honestly 8.5. I think.
All right, Michael.
I'd say a high 7 to a low 8. Mostly because of the repeated bosses.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 9, and the reason for not the 10 is the repeated bosses. There's too many of them. I mean,
they also ruin like a lot of really good boss fights, like the God Skin. I love that boss fight, but then the fourth time you do it, it's like, what the fuck did you do to this?
Yeah.
Right.
Even with the auto flame ball that it throws at you every time you heal.
Yeah, I was wondering if it did that automatically because of that.
Yeah.
And then I saw a meme, and it was like, it was the Godskin bosses, and it says, "Go ahead, heal." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess that kind of."
Dude, in that fight, they literally stopped beating my fucking mimic so they could turn around and throw fireballs at me.
I always found that really easy to dodge. I don't know.
Well, it's whenever
like
you're starting to drink a flask and you get a fireball at you.
I guess I never had that problem. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was 50-50. Sometimes it would hit me, sometimes it wouldn't. I don't know. But that's Elden Ring, everybody.
Great game.
This episode is going to be very long.
Worth the experience, worth the suffering.
Everybody should buy it. Everybody should try it at least once.
Definitely my second favorite Souls game.
Even though I did not enjoy the last boss, and I thought I wasn't going to get a sense of fulfillment out of it, I did feel fucking great after beating them. So, there you go.
Or is it the fact that you just beat a new game?
Well, no, I could have just not, enjoyed what I had already and stopped, like I did with Bloodborne. But I actually did feel accomplished after beating this game. Felt like I did something, even though it was kind of cheap. I still liked it.
Right. All right, everyone. That's the episode. We'll catch you later.
Arrivederci, muchachos.
Peace.
Fucking mouse won't get the exit.